fans, and welcome to the Princeton Rays Game of the Week, our second edition of the Princeton Rays Game of the Week here on Suddenlink Cable. Eric Lester, Wes McKinney alongside, bringing you another fantastic minor league, Appalachian League baseball game here on Suddenlink Cable. Since last we met, the Rays 2-2 on the season, and Wes, I'm going to get your thoughts right now, but the record is a little skewed there. The bats have come alive for three of the Rays in this stretch.
Eric, you look at a guy like Bobby Melly, 2 home runs for him in that 4-game stretch, a 3-run shot. It was in a loss against Greeneville in Game 1, had that solo shot the preceding night in the series finale against Danville. His bat has come alive. Blake Butera was big in Game 2 here against Greeneville.
Monster night.
Exactly, 4 RBIs, and to put it in perspective a little bit for Blake Butera, 6 RBIs all of last year, career high 4 RBIs in Game 2 against Greeneville, and 7 now for the season. So he's already passed his RBI total from when he was in Princeton here in 2015. Then Emilio Gustave seems like he's in the middle of everything, whether it's getting on base, going first to third on a single, hustling to second on what should be a single for him. He's been exceptionally good in that lineup, doing a bunch of different things, just not power, just not hitting for average, doing a bunch of different things for the Rays.
Gustave in Game 2 of the series with Greeneville, a home run and a triple and 2 at-bats for him. So just a great night at the plate, and those individuals really coming to their own in the Princeton Rays lineup. Let's look at the pitching mound. Game 2 of this series saw a fantastic performance from Peter Bayer.
Yeah, you know, whenever you got a bunch of different guys throwing only 1 or 2 innings, I think sometimes it can maybe throw your pitching staff off a little bit, throw the defense for a loop because they don't know what to expect from the guy they're playing behind. But Peter Bayer in the 3rd through the 5th inning, exceptional performance from Peter. His first outing in Burlington was a little bit rough, nothing to be ashamed of, obviously, but for Peter, 9 up, 9 down, 4 strikeouts, was out there throwing missiles, and I thought he mixed in his breaking pitches exceptionally well on the mound against Greeneville in that second game.
Wes will be back with us on the pregame show here a little bit later on to preview tonight's rubber matchup in the Greeneville Astros series. Lots more to come on the Princeton Rays pregame show. Stick around.
Rays fans, join us for a very special night of baseball on Saturday night, July the 9th, as the Princeton Rays battle the Bristol Pirates. It's Military Appreciation Night. All active duty and retired military personnel will receive free gate admission to the Princeton Rays baseball game. Family members of the veterans and active duty personnel receive a special gate rate of $4 at the gate. Join us for Military Appreciation Night, Saturday night, July the 9th, against the Bristol Pirates, Honeycutt Field in Princeton, 7 p.m. first pitch. See you at the ballpark. Rays fans, help us help those in our community in need. Help us help the victims of the recent West Virginia flood. On our games, July 9th through the 11th, we'll be taking up donations of much-needed supplies so that we can donate to those victims of the recent West Virginia floods. Each item donated will be good for a ticket to be entered in a drawing for a box seat for the rest of the Princeton Rays season. Those items will be donated July 9th through the 11th through the Princeton Fire Department to those areas struggling with the recent floods. We are West Virginia Strong. Thank you for supporting our efforts to help those in need. Sunday, July 10th, Princeton Rays versus the Bristol Pirates. Special 5 p.m. first pitch. Join us, fans, for Faith and Fellowship Night. Join us as we celebrate faith and fellowship. Special 5 p.m. first pitch. Gates open at 4 p.m. with a special gospel music concert featuring Calvary's Call. Calvary's Call in concert 4 p.m. free with gate admission. 5 p.m. first pitch Sunday, July 10th. Princeton Rays versus the Bristol Pirates. We'll see you at the ballpark.
Telling a story with the redeemed of all the ages, praising the one whom I adore. When I wake up to sleep no more.
Fans, back on the Princeton Rays pregame show here on Suddenlink, and I'm privileged to be joined by Nick Carey, Princeton Rays general manager. And Nick, first of all, welcome to the pregame show. Do want to take a chance to welcome you to Princeton.
Well, thank you very much. It's been a great welcome to Princeton. Been a good few months to get ready for the season, and I'm just happy it started and we have the fans in the stands.
We got some fantastic promotions coming up, and nothing more important than the one happening tonight here at the ballpark.
That is right. Tonight is Military Appreciation Night. We are celebrating those who have made the sacrifice in service and those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in their service, and we are just showing the most appreciation we can for them in their service time and welcoming them to the ballpark and also their families for a night here. It's a routine around minor league baseball to do a military appreciation night, but I take it to heart. I come from a military family, so I wanted to make it particularly special here for my first season with the Rays.
7 o'clock first pitch tonight at Honeycutt Field. The Bristol Pirates will be in town. They come for a 3-game series. And Game 2, Sunday afternoon, 5 o'clock first pitch. Special promotion on that day as well.
Yep, it is Faith Night at the ballpark, our early 5 o'clock start for Sundays this season. We are bringing in a Christian music act, unnamed at this point, but we are going to bring in a quality act, and they're going to do a lot to embrace the mood of faith and fellowship in the ballpark and bring that mood of faith to all of Honeycutt Field and just show our brotherhood.
So fans, faith and fellowship at the ballpark. It's 5 o'clock first pitch. Gates open at 4. Don't forget about the special music group performing at 4 o'clock. And then to round out the series, Nick, with the Bristol Pirates on Monday night, special opportunity for free admission to all our fans.
Yes, it is. That day, even earlier in the day, at both of the Grants locations in Princeton city limits here, we will have players out. They will be bagging groceries and handing out flyers to encourage people to buy some non-perishable food items to bring to the ballpark. It is a free gate night if you bring in non-perishable food items, sponsored by Grant's Supermarket, one of our fine partners, and also that night is our local charities night, so we will have local charities from the area and Mercer County out spreading information about their cause and trying to divide their reach among the community, and also bring some new volunteers in if they can and just get their message out there. So it should be a great night, and it is a weekend of recognition promotionally and the most we can do for our fans.
Saturday night tonight, 7 o'clock. It's Sunday, 5 o'clock, and then 7 o'clock again on Monday as the Bristol Pirates come into town. If you need more on these promotions or any of our promotions, it's PrincetonRays.net. Nick, thanks so much for joining us on the pregame show. Fans, stick around with us. A lot more to come here on the Princeton Rays pregame show.
Do you have a business or an event to promote? Advertising opportunities are still available for the Princeton Rays. Email us at princetonrays@frontier.com or phone us at 304-487-2000 to inquire about advertising today. Fans, join us for a very special night at the ballpark. Monday night, July 11th, Princeton Rays versus the Bristol Pirates. 7 p.m. first pitch. Free admission. That's right, free admission for donation of a non-perishable food item. Items will be donated to Tender Mercies Ministries and Food Bank. The night is made possible and sponsored by Grant's Supermarket. That's free admission for a donation of a non-perishable food item. It's also nonprofit night. Join us as we celebrate and honor our nonprofit organizations and come see our local nonprofits and hear more about their missions. All Monday night, July the 11th, 7 p.m. first pitch, Bristol Pirates visit the Princeton Rays. Rays fans, help us help those in our community in need. Help us help the victims of the recent West Virginia flood. On our games July 9th through the 11th, we'll be taking up donations of much needed supplies so that we can donate to those victims of the recent West Virginia floods. Each item donated will be good for a ticket to be entered in a drawing for a box seat for the rest of the Princeton Rays season. Those items will be donated July 9th through the 11th through the Princeton Fire Department to those areas struggling with the recent floods. We are West Virginia Strong. Thank you for supporting our efforts to help those in need.
Back on the Princeton Rays pregame show here on Suddenlink. Tonight's matchup, the Game 3 in the series with the Greeneville Astros. It's a rubber matchup. Each team 1 game apiece. Looking at the pitching mound tonight, it's pitching that's been great for the Rays right now, leading the Appalachian League in ERA. And tonight, Wes, the Rays go Jose Diesla.
Eric Princeton has been great on the mound all season. Through 6 games on the year, they were leading the Appalachian League in ERA. Lost the title in Game 7, gave up 10 earned runs, 14 total in the game. In that Game 1 loss against Greeneville. Bounced back Game 2, only gave up the 1 run. They're back in the lead in ERA in the Appalachian League. And tonight, Princeton turns to a guy, Jose Diesla, as you mentioned. Jose, he's trying to get things right himself. He gave up 4 runs in 3 1/3. Only got 3 strikeouts at Burlington in the 3rd game of that series. Princeton ultimately lost that one 5-0. So Jose trying to get a bounce back here tonight as Princeton tries to go for this series win against the Astros. And I think if Jose has a good outing, I like Princeton's chances a lot tonight.
Flip side of the page for Greeneville tonight, what's their pitching status look like?
Ricardo Castro is on the mound for Greeneville tonight. Ricardo, a really solid outing. His first time out on the mound, that was on Saturday against Johnson City. Did get a no decision. 5 scoreless innings for him, 4 hits, 7 Ks. Really good outing for him. Greeneville's looking for some of the same because they're near the bottom in the Appalachian League in Team RA and ERA near 6. That's 9th in the league right now. So Greeneville really trying to get a good start from Ricardo Castro because that bullpen has been taxed in the first 2 games of this series.
Looking at the lineups for both teams tonight, we stick with the Greeneville Astros. Be remiss if we didn't mention the name Connor McDonald. He did hit for the cycle here the other night in this series against Princeton. An amazing feat for Connor McDonald, but definitely an X factor in that lineup for the Astros. What do you look down that lineup and see?
This Greeneville lineup, when you look at it on paper and you look at some of the numbers, it's a feast or famine type of lineup. You look at Connor McDonald coming into Game 1 of this series, only had 1 hit on the season, gets 4, and then goes 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts in Game 2 of the series. Greeneville is 2nd in the league in team strikeouts at the plate, but they lead the league in home runs. So a very feast or famine lineup. They hit 4 in Game 1 of the series. Obviously, when you hit 4 home runs, you're going to score a bunch of runs. They scored 14, but they're a bunch of free swingers, and I look for Jose to really try to work his off-speed stuff in, his breaking pitches, to try to get this Greeneville lineup to chase pitches because they're not real patient at the plate.
The Princeton bats, as we said, have really come alive lately. What do they need to do to keep the streak going tonight? Gustave, Melly, and those guys.
A guy that I think maybe flies under the radar a little bit because of where he bats in the lineup. Obviously, the leadoff guys and your cleanup hitter, one that's going to usually grab the attention of fans. But Ralphaline Lorenzo is in the middle of everything. He started the year batting 3rd. They had some guys get hot. Bobby Melly got hot. And they dropped Ralphaline Lorenzo down in the lineup. But all he's done is he keeps it. And he has RBIs in both games of the series thus far. He is top 10 in the Appalachian League in runs. Lorenzo seems to be in the middle of everything. I think he's a big factor tonight. And plus, let's not lose sight of how good he's been defensively because part of that team ERA is his ability to call the pitches at the correct time and control the running game. Just 2 guys have stolen bases on him out of the 8 games thus far. He's caught 6 of them, only 2 stolen bases against him. I think that has played a big part in Princeton's team ERA.
The last 3-game series in Honeycutt Stadium between the Astros and the Rays was for the Appalachian League title, but Game 3 is tonight. It's the deciding Game 3 for the series win. It's time to play ball, and it's time to head down to the field for our opening ceremonies.
Rich, go about 2 minutes here if you could on this break, please.
That our flag was still.
Beautiful rendition of the national anthem as we get ready to play ball here to open up the 4th of July weekend on a Friday night from Honeycutt Field. Glad y'all could join us on 103.3 The Way, West McKinney, bringing you all the action. Jose Diesla on the mound for the Rays tonight. Jose looking to get back on track here after he got roughed up at Burlington on Saturday night. He was, if you go on the 5-man rotation, Jose scheduled to really pitch last night, but Princeton by committee last night. Brian McAfee got the first 2 innings. The next 3 went to Peter Bayer. Sandy Brito got the 6th and the 7th. And then Rain Leckman came in and shut it down. Princeton pitching last night, limiting Greeneville to just 3 hits and 1 run. And all 3 of those hits coming within the first 2 innings last night. Doing the catching, Raffaline Lorenzo, after getting the first night off, or getting the night off against Greeneville. And the first game of this series, he's been back behind the plate now 2 straight nights. And offensively, Raffaline has been in the middle of everything, no matter where you bat him. We've seen him in the 3-hole. He's dropped down as far as 7. Over his last couple of games, he's been in the lineup. He'll bat 5th tonight, so I'm interested to see how he makes an impact from there in that 5-hole tonight, giving some protection to Bobby Melly perhaps, and also to Adrian Rondon, who will bat behind him. Digging in for Greeneville to start the game, it is Miggy Sierra, the shortstop, played second base 2 nights ago and gets the call at short tonight. Really, you look at this Princeton lineup, you think that they vacuum a bunch of balls over towards shortstop, but Aruz the last 2 nights hasn't been a real busy man over there. I mean, he's had his fair share of ground balls, but not like you might think he would. First pitch from Jose Diesla forthcoming here as the right-handed swinging Miggy Sierra digs in. Kick and the delivery, and we are underway. Swing and a miss by Sierra, 0-1. It's Sierra and then the third baseman, Tyler Wolf. He struggled in the bottom of the order for Greeneville 2 nights ago, just 1 for 5 in that game. And then Spencer Johnson was exceptional out of left field. He plays at first base tonight for the Astros. Princeton looking to move to 6-3 on the year here as they're 5-3 in a 3-way tie atop the Appalachian League standings. 1-1 pitch is cut on and missed by Sierra. Runs at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Greeneville, as we mentioned in our pregame, really a feast or famine lineup here this season. Is it's been a struggle. They either hit a bunch of home runs and win, or they strike out a bunch and lose. 1-2 pitch is outside, and it now is 2-2 on the leadoff hitter here for Greeneville, Miggy Sierra. Time called at the plate, called by the hitter Sierra. He steps out, digs back in. Jose Diesla for the Rays. Just his second start of the season. He gets a swing and a miss of Sierra, and the first out is recorded of the game. Diesla, 20 years old, has had an up and down minor league career. 2-10, 4.74 ERA, 81 strikeouts in 100 2/3 innings. Spent last year in the Gulf Coast League in the 2013 and the 14 campaigns in the Dominican Summer League. That brings us to Tyler Wolf, who takes a strike on the outside corner to start the count here as he battles Jose Diesla. Diesla, the 0-1 delivery is up high, fastball misses, a ball and 1 strike. Tyler Wolf, as we mentioned, 1 for 5 2 nights ago. Chops this one foul first base side, runs it 1 ball and 2 strikes to the third baseman for this Greeneville club. Time called at the plate here. Not sure. Looks like initially maybe Wolf had broke his bat, but he's not going anywhere to retrieve a new one, so everything must be A-OK on that front for Tyler Wolf. Got a conversation going on between the home plate umpire and Josh Bonifay, the manager for Greeneville. Not exactly sure what this might be about. Very animated, though, is Bonifay is Talks to home plate umpire. That conversation's mostly one-sided. The umpire doing a lot of listening there. Tyler Wolf, native of Maple Plain, Minnesota. 1-2 pitch now from Diesel after everyone is set and ready to go. This breaks the bat, and it's over the head of Devin Davis, a little looper into right field. And the Astros have their first hit in the game. That is just a spear laying just to the left side of the mound. Good firewood.
The first baseman, number 23, Spencer Johnson.
Use that in your bonfire on the 4th of July if you so choose. The bat just sawed in half from Wolf, but he's aboard with a 1-out single, and that brings to the plate Tyler Johnson. Johnson, thought played pretty well 2 nights ago. Kind of shocked he got the night off. Johnson homered in the 6th inning. That was a 2-run shot. Also scored Connor McDonald, who is not in the lineup tonight after hitting for the cycle 2 nights ago, but a rough night for him last night. Was 0 for 3 with 3 punch-outs. Also got hit by a pitch in his last at bat of the night, which came in the 8th inning. Ball 2 is low and in the dirt, backhanded by Lorenzo. Wolf goes nowhere. This year, Spencer Johnson, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. His 2 home runs tied for the club lead with the aforementioned Miggy Sierra. 6 RBIs for Johnson, 6 hits, also has 3 doubles, so 5 of the 6 hits have gone for extra bases off the bat of Spencer Johnson. The pause and the delivery on the 2-2, foul back behind home plate, and it's now 2-1 on Tyler Johnson. On Spencer Johnson. Tyler Wolf off of first base after the 1-out single. Wander Franco, the designated hitter, stands on deck. 2 nights ago, Wander also was also in the lineup at the same position, the designated hitter spot. 2-1 is fouled off right side, and it evens up the count against the first baseman, Spencer Johnson. It's the first baseman, Spencer Johnson. They've got so many moving parts on this Greeneville roster. A bunch of different guys been all over the place in the lineup, like Raymond Henderson played third base last night, and he catches tonight. We'll see him later on here in the lineup. Diesel with the 2-2 delivery, and it is in the dirt for 3 balls and 2 strikes. We play the top of the first here at Honeycutt Field. Princeton and Greeneville scoreless. The Astros with a man on after the little blooping single into shallow right field that broke Tyler Wolf's bat. And he is off first, being held on by Davis. The check on him. Now Diesel turns his attention on this full count pitch. There goes the runner. Swung on and missed. Lorenzo with a throw down. And it's a strike him out, throw him out to end the top of the first inning. Or is it? Oh, wow. I guess the Tenerowitz never got the tag down in time. Oh, I'm sorry. I got a step ahead of myself. So it is a strikeout of Johnson. And Wolf steals second. Throw was in plenty of time from Lorenzo, and I guess the Tenerowitz never got the tag down on the runner, or maybe Wolf went for the swim move on the tag, where that's where you pick up the one hand and then bring it over the glove of the guy trying to tag you out. Not exactly sure what happened there, but Wolf is in at second now. 2 outs and 1 on, and the designated hitter, Wander Franco, comes up to bat. Diesel with the 0-1 delivery, checks the runner once, now twice, and brings the 0-1 home. This is Scott into left field. Going back on it is Bernard, and he has a beat on it at the warning track. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We'll go to the bottom of the first scoreless. This is Princeton Rays Baseball on 103.3 The Way and online at 103.3theway.com.
Rays fans, join us for a very special night of baseball on Saturday night, July the 9th, as the Princeton Rays battle the Bristol Pirates. It's Military Appreciation Night. All active duty and retired military personnel will receive free gate admission to the Princeton Rays baseball game. Family members of the veterans and active duty personnel will receive a special gate rate of $4 at the gate. Join us for Military Appreciation Night, Saturday night, July the 9th, against the Bristol Pirates, Honeycutt Field in Princeton, 7 p.m. first pitch. See you at the ballpark.
face Butera, Cabrera, and Gustave, a very familiar top-of-the-order lineup for the Rays. They used that order the first 4 games of the season before Trek Stemp got in there and led off things on the 5th night. Strike 1 to Butera, breaks over the plate. Butera trying to carry over his momentum from last night's game, 3 for 5, career high, 4 RBIs for Blake. This is lifted into right. On the chase is De La Cruz, and it's going to drop foul, 0-2 on Butera. Going back to Blake last night, none of the balls hit exceptionally hard. His first hit, a line drive single over the drawn-in infield. If the infield's playing at regular depth, it's probably caught by the second baseman, which was Marcus Almonte last night for the Astros. The third hit was a line drive up the middle, not hit really hard, hit the outfield grass on the fly just past the infield. This is grounded, and it is foul down the third baseline, just barely foul for Blake, remains 0-2. And then the third hit last night for Butera was a little looper into center field. That was in the 6th, as he scored Robbie Tenerowitz on the single in the 6th inning. Then Butera, in his final at-bat, did strike out last night. This one lifted foul right side. Butera keeps the at-bat alive, still 0-2 on Butera. Coming into tonight, Butera, 355 hitter, 11 for 31, 7 RBIs. That would be third on the Princeton squad here. Of course, Rondon with a 12 and the Melly with 9. And high and inside to Butera. Now it's a ball and 2 strikes as Ricardo Castro looking for his first out to start his outing here tonight. Is ahead of Butera. Kicks and delivers. And a little comeback or 2. Castro gets off the mound, lobs it over to the first baseman Johnson, and Butera is retired 1-3. Eliardo Cabrera comes up to the plate. Saw him get the night off Wednesday night, kind of get his mind right. Had a solid batting average, still does have a solid batting average, nearing the 350 mark. But Cabrera struck out 10 times in the first 6 games of the season, so he gets a night off 2 nights ago. Comes in last night and puts together actually was hitless. Oh, I'm sorry, did have 1 hit last night, hit by a pitch as well. Did not score a run, did Eliardo, but he's been really solid. Lifts this one into right. It's going back. De La Cruz going back on it, and it is gone! Cabrera still sprinting around the bases. Finally, as he comes up on manager Danny Schaefer at third base, starts to slow down for Cabrera. Second home run of the season. And the Rays are up 1-0 here in the first inning. Hit off that big Appalachian power sign in right field, and it is gone for Cabrera. So the first run given up on the season as well by Ricardo Castro. And for the 3rd straight game, the Rays have homered here at Honeycutt Field. Emilio Gustave trying to keep it going, chopped foul, third base side, and it's 0-1 on Gustave. Gustave 2 nights ago had a nice night to plate, had some struggles in the field though. 393 average, approaching the 400 mark. He trails Melly in the average department in terms of Rays. Melly batting a cool 406 here early on in the Appalachian League season. This is up and in, and 2-1 on Emilio. But Gustave, 11 for 29, 1 homer, 3 RBIs on the year. Has also walked 4 times and has 2 doubles. 2-1 from Castro is right down the middle. 2-2 on Gustave. The aforementioned Bobby Melly waits on deck. He looks like he's got a lockdown on that cleanup spot, or at least for the time being. 2-2 to Gustave, though, back at home plate, and he will go down on strikes. Fastball catches the outside corner, and Castro has the second out of the bottom of the first inning.
Designated hitter number 38, Bobby Melly.
Princeton came in to tonight's game with 8 home runs on the year. Greeneville, of course, leads the Appalachian League with 13. Princeton now with 9 after the blast by Eliardo Cabrera, his second of the year. And they have that 1 2-0 lead. Off the handle of the bat is foul by Melly, and it's 0-1. Ball carried into the bleachers on the left side of the diamond. Castro the 0-1, and it bounces in the dirt, and it's 1-1 on Princeton's designated hitter tonight. Melly in that spot 2 nights ago is Devin Davis. Got the call at first base. Davis back at first, and Melly back into that DH slot. It's nice to see that Danny Schaefer finding ways to get Melly in this lineup. This is tapped towards the second base side. Up with it in the shift is Aruz. He tosses on to first, and Melly is retired 4-3. Princeton, though, with the big fly from Cabrera, 1 run, 1 hit, nobody left. Princeton leads it after 1-0.
Sunday, July 10th, Princeton Rays versus the Bristol Pirates. Special 5 p.m. first pitch. Join us, fans, for Faith and Fellowship Night. Join us as we celebrate faith and fellowship. Special 5 p.m. first pitch. Gates open at 4 p.m. with a special gospel music concert featuring Calvary's Call. Calvary's Call in concert 4 p.m. free with gate admission. 5 p.m. first pitch. Sunday, July 10th, Princeton Rays versus the Bristol Pirates. We'll see you at the ballpark.
Telling a story with the redeemed of all the ages, praising the one whom I adore. When I wake up to sleep no more.
Do you have a business or an event to promote? Advertising opportunities are still available for the Princeton Rays. Email us at princetonrays@frontier.com or phone us at 304-487-2000 to inquire about advertising today.
A clean inning for the most part. Gave up the single to Tyler Wolf. Stranded him at second. Also got 2 strikeouts, one of Sierra and the other one of Johnson in the inning. So for Diesla, just had 3 in that start at Burlington. So almost has matched that total here through 1 inning. Brian De La Cruz, night off last night for him, as the first pitch is a ball that's up and slightly in. De La Cruz 2 nights ago, he in the game was 2 for 4, single double, struck out, walked. Also in that game, scored 2 runs, once after the double and then after he walked. One pitch is a strike, and it's 1-1 on De La Cruz. This one catches the outside corner, fastball thrown by Diesla, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 pitch is blocked in the dirt. Lorenzo. De La Cruz has a really holds that bat really high in the air. It's not necessarily close to his shoulder. Gives it a little twirl as well. 2-2 pitch is inside. Brushes De La Cruz back off the plate, and Diesla has run it full here on Greeneville's right fielder to begin the second inning. Princeton up 1-0. Top of the second, bottom of the first. Cabrera with the solo home run. This is fouled left side, and we'll line up and do it again with a 3-ball and 2-strike count on De La Cruz. 273 hitter this year, a homer, 2 RBIs. This foul back against the screen, stays full. 6 for 22 at the plate, tied for the team lead in runs scored. He has that honor with Frankie Fernandez. Fernandez starting in center field the last 2 nights, but he gets the night off here in Game 3 of the series. Full count pitch from Diesla for a 3rd time, and he starts off the top of the second with a leadoff walk to Brian De La Cruz, and that brings to the plate Jonathan Aruz. Aruz, one of the youngest players, or actually the youngest player on this Greeneville squad, 17 years old. He's bounced around. We chronicled his story a couple of nights ago. Bounced around. Was initially in Philly to start his, or in the Phillies organization to start his minor league career. Houston obtained him last summer as he fouls the first pitch off to the left to start his at-bat. Was in the Phillies organization, came to the Houston organization last year, native of Panama, just 17 years old, and won't turn 18 until August. Will Jonathan Aruz at second base tonight after consecutive starts at shortstop in the first 2 games of this series. Timeout called by Aruz. Off of first after the leadoff walk is De La Cruz. Aruz has struggled here in Greenville, just 3 for 20. One of those hits, there was a home run. Another one is a double. 1 for 5 last night, and 2 of his 3 hits on the season have been in this series. Ball 1 is low, 1-1 on Jonathan Aruz. Has started in now 6 games this season, hitting 150. He's not walked either, but just has 2 strikeouts. Lines this one into the gap in right center. Gustave over to cut it off, but De La Cruz is racing towards third, and he will be in there. And now we got some big-time trouble. An errant throw, and it's going to allow Aruz to roll into second base. The throw from Gustave in center field overshot the cutoff man to Narowitz. Everyone fell asleep on the play, and luckily Diesla was on that third base line backing up the throw, but not before Aruz is able to go to second on the throw. So it's not first and third, but now it's second and third. And Diesla in a little bit of trouble here in the top of the second, with Princeton winning the game 1-0 here early on. Brings to the plate Chaz Powell. Powell's first action in this series. 4 for 12 on the season, batting .333. He has a home run. It feels like everyone we mentioned in this Greenville lineup has a home run this year. Jose Gonzalez is going to come out after Powell takes ball 1. Chaz Powell, one of the final picks for the Houston organization in this past year's draft. 6 foot, 200-pound outfielder from Deerfield Beach, Florida. Drafted in the 38th round, meeting over between Jose Gonzalez, Diesla, and the catcher Lorenzo. A couple of scores already on the board around the Appalachian League. Get you a scoreboard update brought to you by Chick-fil-A of Oakville Road. And the first chance we get, 1-0 pitch is right down the pipe, and it's 1-1 on the left fielder, Powell. The catcher, Henderson, started at third base last night, does the catching tonight on deck. Second and third, nobody out here. Greenville top of the second. Diesla with the wind and the kick, and this one is fouled off, and it's a ball and 2 strikes to Chaz Powell. Powell just limited action, only 3 games this year. Mentioned 4 hits, has the home run and also a double. 1-2 pitch in the dirt, blocked by Lorenzo, keeps everyone at bay on the bases, and it's 2-2 on Powell. Diesel working from the first base side of the rubber. The third baseman, Butera, even with the bag. Middle infield at regular depth. Davis in on the grass at first. 2-2 pitches up high, and Diesel is in danger of walking Powell now in the full count, and if he does, it would load up the bases for Henderson. Big time look of focus here from Diesel. He comes up now and is set, takes a deep breath, and the full count is pitch is fouled away. And we'll do it again. Second time in the game here. Second time in this inning. Matter of factly, that Diesel's had to go full count against someone. Did against De La Cruz, the leadoff man, before walking him. And the middle infield trading it out for a run here. We clean up things a little bit while the corners are in. 3-2 pitch, and it's grounded towards Tenarowitz. Run will score. Tenarowitz up with it. And Powell is retired 4-3. To third goes Aruz, and scoring is De La Cruz, and it's tied at 1 between Greenville and Princeton after the RBI ground out by Chaz Powell. Powell's third RBI. Raymond Henderson steps up. Henderson, a busy man last night at third. It felt like everything Princeton hit in the infield anyway was at him, whether it be an infield single or a rare putout for Henderson last night. He digs in, though, and looks at strike one to start this at bat. 8-hole hitter for this Greeneville squad. 1 for 2 last night. Walked in the 7th off of Sandy Brito. Also struck out looking against McAfee and grounded out to the pitcher, which at the time was Peter Bear. How good was Bear last night, by the way? 9 up, 9 down for him. 0-1 pitch is pumped in for a strike by Diesel, looking for the second out of the inning. Infield drawn around the diamond. Everyone in on the grass except for Tenerowitz. He's about 2 strides off at second. Now he comes in on the grass as well. This is blooped over Tenerowitz's head, and Greeneville takes a 2-1 lead as that ball finds the outfield grass. Aruz will score. Henderson with the RBI single. He's aboard now with 2 outs. Just check that, 1 out here in the top of the second. Marcus Almonte, he's been all over the place here early, and they're going to take the ball in for Henderson. I understand it now. Henderson was 0 for 13 to start his professional baseball career, and now that's his first hit. 1 for 14. Gets an RBI, does Henderson, and he is on the board in the hit column in his minor league career. He's now off of first. Almonte digs in. Marcus Almonte, like a lot of these Greeneville hitters, tough sledding for him last night. He was 0 for 4. Takes strike 1. Outside corner fastball from Diesel. Almonte to recap his night. Almonte 0 for 4. Struck out looking in the 8th against Leckman. Also grounded out to short twice and lined out to Melly as well at first. This is fouled away. 0-2 to Almonte. If he would reach, we would have the top of the order and Sierra up. Diesel looking for that double play ball. A lot of pitches thus far from Diesel. Started the inning with 17 and has done himself no favors here in the top of the second. Runner started on the move. Grounder to Tenerowitz. Flip on to Rondon. Plenty of time to get the runner. Put out goes 4-6-3. Diesel gets out of the inning, but Greeneville, 2 runs on 2 hits. They don't leave anybody. Greeneville 2, Princeton 1 after 1.5. This is Princeton Rays Baseball on 103.3 The Way and online at 103.3theway.com.
Fans, join us for a very special night at the ballpark. Monday night, July 11th, Princeton Rays versus the Bristol Pirates. 7 p.m. first pitch. Free admission. That's right, free admission for donation of a non-perishable food item. Items will be donated to Tender Mercies Ministries and Food Bank. The night is made possible and sponsored by Grant's Supermarket. That's free admission for a donation of a non-perishable food item. It's also nonprofit night. Join us as we celebrate and honor our nonprofit organizations and come see our local nonprofits and hear more about their missions. All Monday night, July the 11th, 7 p.m. first pitch, Bristol Pirates visit the Princeton Rays.
Rafaelin Lorenzo to start the bottom of the second here for Princeton. 5-6-7 for the Rays. Lorenzo takes low, ball 1. It's Lorenzo Rondon and Devin Davis. This is swung on and blooped into right field. Long run for the right fielder, De La Cruz. He gets under it in time. And Lorenzo is retired for the first out here in the bottom of the second. Brings to the plate Rondon. Rondon been scuffling a little bit. And those 3 homers on Friday night down in Burlington last Friday night a week ago, they're almost legendary at this point, but then just 1 hit for Adrian since then, and that was a 2 RBI single on Monday night, and finally got back on the right side last night with a 2-for-4 after first pitch swinging bouncer to the shortstop, and he's going to be retired at 6-3 is Rondon, and quickly just 2 outs on just 3 pitches for Castro here in the bottom of the second. Speaking of guys looking to get off the schneid, so to speak, Devin Davis, 1 for 16 this year. Check that, 1 for 16. Don't want to make it sound any worse than it is, but facts are facts. Takes low, ball 1. Had the RBI triple in the blowout win 11-4 over Danville back on Sunday. Only hit this year. This is swung on soft liner, played on the short hop, and it is Sierra getting Davis by a step at first. Princeton gone 1-2-3 on just 5 pitches from Castro. The Rays trail at 2-1 as we go to the top of the third. This is Princeton Rays baseball on 103.3 The Way and online at 103.3 The Way.
Rays fans, join us for a very special night of baseball on Saturday night, July the 9th, as the Princeton Rays battle the Bristol Pirates. It's Military Appreciation Night. All active duty and retired military personnel will receive free gate admission to the Princeton Rays baseball game. Family members of the veterans and active duty personnel receive a special gate rate of $4 at the gate. Join us for Military Appreciation Night, Saturday night, July the 9th, against the Bristol Pirates, Honeycutt Field in Princeton, 7 p.m. first pitch. See you at the ballpark. Rays fans, help us help those in our community in need. Help us help the victims of the recent West Virginia flood. On our games July 9th through the 11th, we'll be taking up donations of much needed supplies so that we can donate to those victims of the recent West Virginia floods. Each item donated will be good for a ticket to be entered in a drawing for a box seat for the rest of the Princeton Rays season. Those items will be donated July 9th through the 11th through the Princeton Fire Department to those areas struggling with the recent floods. We are West Virginia strong. Thank you for supporting our efforts to help those in need.
Sierra digs in. 1 homer this year, correction, 2 home runs for Sierra this year. Mentioned tied for the team lead with Johnson, who we'll see third in this inning. First pitch fouled back behind home plate. Diesel ahead 0-1. That was kind of a theme for Jose last inning. Got behind a couple of guys, ended up giving up the walk to De La Cruz, and then fell behind Powell, but did get a ground out, but turned into an RBI. Foul tipped into the glove of Lorenzo, and it's 0-2 quickly on Sierra here. So Diesel some time to maybe throw in a couple of waste pitches, try to get Sierra to chase something. This is in the dirt, couldn't get a chase. It's 1-2. Good block by Lorenzo. Still a little bit shocked going back to the first whenever Wolf was able to slide in safely at second to throw in plenty of time from Lorenzo. Somehow Wolf in there safely. Lorenzo has done a really good job of controlling the running game this year and really throughout his minor league career. Ball 2 is low, evens it up, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Over the last 2 years, Lorenzo, now 3rd year of pro baseball, Lorenzo has thrown out just about a third of runners he has attempted. They have attempted to steal him. This foul back against the screen remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. Third steal allowed this year by Lorenzo, and now 5 attempts, so you can do the math there. He's thrown out about 40% this year in the early going here. 2-2 pitch to the leadoff man here in the top of the third, Miguel Sierra, and he foul tips that one into the glove of Lorenzo for the 2nd time this at bat, and he has gone down on strikes for the 2nd time tonight. 3rd punch out for Diesel. And Spencer Wolf will step in now. Wolf, the RBI or the single, broke his bat, shattered it. The spear of the bat, the larger part, ended up near the pitching mound. He blooped that over the head of Devin Davis, did Wolf, and then stole second. This is a liner pass to diving Devin Davis, and Tyler Wolf now 2 for 2 in the game. Both hits going into right field. So very similar setup to the top of the first, top of the third. Sierra struck out, and then the single from Wolf. That's exactly how the top of the first started for Greeneville. Wolf eventually stranded. See if it holds form here. Spencer Johnson, 2nd strikeout of the night for Diesel. Back in the first, you got him on a full count pitch swinging with Wolf running on the pitch. Diesel, this one is a ball low, just below the knees of Johnson. Very borderline pitch there. Diesel not getting a call. Gives the runner Wolf a stare down, though he might be on the move here. Fairly aggressive lead from Wolf at first. The 2-2 or the 1-0 pitch is low, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Snap throw down by Lorenzo. Wolf back in on the slide. A little bit delayed there. I don't know if Davis knew the throw was coming. He was late getting to the bag himself and late getting the tag down as well. Diesla sets and now out of the stretch, and this is a fastball. Check swing doesn't matter. Called on the outside corner, and it's 2-1 to Spencer Johnson. Johnson from Missouri State, Springfield, Missouri native, so stayed in-state to play college ball. It's when foul back against the screen. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Johnson's Tigers of Missouri State all the way, or check that, wrong animal, the Missouri State Bears. The Bears of Missouri State, 38-21 this past year, made it all the way to the Missouri Valley Championship game where they eventually lost to Dallas Baptist in the MVC Championship game. 2 balls, 2 strikes, though, to Johnson here in his second at-bat of the night, and he will foul this one away. Tell you what, Greeneville just 2 hits thus far in the game, but, man, they're making Jose Diesla work out there on the mound. Seems like every at-bat, Diesla is getting ahead of most of these guys. He's had several 2-strike counts tonight. Just can't finish guys or just can't get that final pitch to get out of an inning. 2-2 now, once again from Diesla to Spencer Johnson. And this one, once again, fouled away. Remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Some day baseball going around the major leagues. If you hadn't heard, the Indians, you should call them the Windians at this point. Now, 14 straight wins for them. It took them 19 today. Sacrifice fly in the 19th inning. They defeat the Blue Jays. Holiday, of course, in Canada. Day game, the only day game going on around the majors today. 1 o'clock first pitch, and don't finish until 7:30, so it's not even like it's hardly even a day game at some point. But the Indians, 14 straight wins now as they defeat the Blue Jays 2-1 in 19 innings. Full count to Johnson. Wolf aggressive lead off of first. Diesla checks on him, doesn't throw over. Now will come home with the pitch on the move, walk, and we'll have a 2 on and 1 out here in the Greeneville top of the third after the full count walk to Johnson. Solid at bat there for Spencer Johnson to draw the walk after fouling away a couple of pitches on 2-2, getting the ball to run at 3-2, and then great patience on 3-2. Another visit from Jose Gonzalez, the pitching coach for the Rays, before Wander Franco digs in. Franco this year, after he flied out to Bernard on the warning track to end the first inning, now below the Mendoza line in terms of batting average, batting just 190, and that goes for 3 guys in this Greeneville lineup now below the Mendoza line. Henderson, as we saw his first hit last inning, is batting .071, and also Jonathan Ruse, 190, although he has a hit and a run scored in this game, so he's brought his average up in just his 1 at bat thus far. Franco at the plate, the left-handed swinging designated hitter, takes strike 1 outside corner. 2 on, 1 out. Greeneville leads at 2-1 here in the top of the third. 6th game of a 6-game homestand for the Rays. They look to end it on a positive note. Swung through way out in front of the changeup, and it's 0-2 on Franco. Diesla trying to work around the 1-out single by Wolf, and then the walk issued with 1 out as well to Spencer Johnson. Got Sierra to strike out swinging to begin this 3rd inning before the last 2 runners have reached. 0-2 is in the dirt, can't get the chase. 1-2 to Franco. De La Cruz on deck. He does not have an official at bat yet in the game. Walked and scored a run. Scored on Chaz Powell's RBI ground out in the 2nd inning before Raymond Henderson brought home a ruse on a 1-out RBI single. This is fouled away left side, and we will do it again at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Once again, this is another example of Diesla getting ahead 0-2, 1-2. Got ahead 0-2 on Franco. Just cannot get the put out here. See if he can induce another ground ball. That's how he got out of the second in 4-6-3. Get out of the second. This is outside and a little bit high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Diesla steps off the rubber. Going to regather himself here. Big sequence in the game. Princeton trying to keep the deficit at 1. Greeneville trying to jump ahead, much like they did in game 1 of the series. 6-0 lead. This is grounded towards first, but foul. Gets the netting on the Princeton first base dugout. 1-2. 6th pitch of the at-bat, forthcoming at 1-2. Consecutive foul balls by Franco after he fell behind 0-2, but has been able, or check it, it's 2-2, so the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Diesla comes home with the pitch and swung on and missed by Franco. 4th strikeout of the game for Diesla, and now 2 outs in the top of the 3rd for Brian De La Cruz, who we mentioned walked in the 2nd. And went to 3rd on the single by Aruz that went into the right center gap. And Aruz actually ended up at 2nd himself on that play after an errant throw by Gustave went all the way to Diesla, who was backing up the play along the 3rd base line. De La Cruz lifts this one into right center field. Gustave on the run, and it is off the wall. It's going to carry him all the way back into center field. 2 runs is in. De La Cruz is digging for 3rd. He's in there standing up, and Greeneville gets 2 runs on the 2 RBI triple with 2 outs from Brian De La Cruz. Princeton, it's kind of been a theme this year for Princeton at home. They fall behind. They've been able to dig out of it a couple of times. But De La Cruz, 2 RBI triples, scores Wolf from 2nd and Johnson all the way from 1st, and it's 4-1 Greeneville. Ball 1 taken outside by Aruz. Also mentioned in the pregame, feast or famine. I've been talking about that the last 2 nights, well, the last 3 nights, I guess. Feast or famine lineup, 1-0 pitch also outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Feast or famine lineup for Greeneville. They have 4 strikeouts. Of the 8 outs that Diesla's recorded, they've been via the strikeout, but they also have 4 runs on the board. This is fouled at home plate. 2-1 now to Aruz. He singled, RBI single in the 2nd. Or check that, just he singled, he did not have an RBI, and then scored a run on the RBI single by Henderson. 2-1 from Diesla with 2 outs, and De La Cruz at 3rd. This is lifted into center, much more routine for Gustave. He goes back on it on the edge of the warning track, and Aruz is retired for the final out here in the 3rd inning. 2 runs on 2 hits. They strand a man do the Astros. 4-1 Greeneville leads it after 2.5. This is Princeton Rays baseball on 103.3 The Way at online at 103.3 The Way.
Sunday, July 10th, Princeton Rays versus the Bristol Pirates. Special 5 p.m. first pitch. Join us, fans, for Faith and Fellowship Night. Join us as we celebrate faith and fellowship. Special 5 p.m. first pitch. Gates open at 4 p.m. with a special gospel music concert featuring Calvary's Call. Calvary's Call in concert 4 p.m. free with gate admission. 5 p.m. first pitch Sunday, July 10th. Princeton Rays versus the Bristol Pirates. We'll see you at the ballpark.
Telling a story with the redeemed of all the ages, praising the one whom I adore. When I wake up to sleep no more.
Bobby, he scored 2 runs, and Bernard was very exceptional in the outfield last night. In the 5th inning, robbed Greeneville's, actually check that, was the 7th, robbed Greeneville's Ruben Castro of a base hit, made a fine defensive play, laid out in the left field on a sinking liner. Bernard first pitch swinging. This might get over the head of the center fielder. Almonte makes a sensational over-the-shoulder grab to retire Bernard for the first out here in the 3rd. An observation on that is Man, Almonte is playing extremely shallow out there
Now batting for the Rays,
as
the second
well.
baseman, number 1,
And that ball was
Robbie
hit not quite to the warning track. There's a line drive, I get it, but man, Almonte plays fairly shallow center field. And now he actually, as I say that, he starts to back up a little bit. Brings to the plate Robbie Tenerowitz. Princeton looking to extend this inning. And Tenerowitz lines this one. This is hit deep. This is back, and it is gone. Robbie Tenerowitz's first home run in professional baseball is a shot down the left field line, snuck inside that foul pole, and it is 4-2 now. Greeneville still leads it, but Robbie Tenerowitz, the solo shot here in the bottom of the third to close within 4-2. Tenerowitz, as we talk about it with a few of these Princeton hitters, inside fastball, was able to get the hands pulled in and drove the ball. The left fielder for Greeneville, Chaz Powell, started running, then just kind of gave up on it. Strike one, inside corner to Butera. To finish the thought about Princeton trying to extend the inning, Princeton has only seen 3 pitches here, or well, now the 4th, after Butera takes strike 2. Bernard first pitch swinging, Tenerowitz first pitch swinging. That's 2 pitches. Now Butera with 2 strikes against him. Princeton saw just 5 pitches in the bottom of the second. This is in the dirt. Ball and 2 strikes to Butera. Quick inning for Castro. 5 pitches, 3 outs in the second, and has 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Princeton trails it 4-2. This is in the dirt to Blake. He evens it up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Rays Report brought to you tonight and every night by the Willow Gift Gallery. AAA Durham and New Orleans, second game of their series. Durham looking to even it up. They lost last night 5-4. Third inning scoreless between the Tides and the Bulls. This is fouled away by Butera. Remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Stone Crabs, High A affiliate, on the road at Bradenton tonight. Stone Crabs with a 5-1 lead as they play the 4th inning. Scoreless between Bowling Green and Great Lakes as they open up a series. Swung on by Butera, missed, and he's down on strikes. Second out of the bottom of the third is Butera gone on strikes, and Princeton and, or I should say the Tampa and the Houston organization, not the only matchup in the minor leagues tonight. Hudson Valley, the Renegades, New York Penn League team at home against Tri-Cities. That's the Astros affiliate in the New York Penn League. Tri-Cities with the early 1-0 lead in the first. Cabrera steps up to the plate, takes low, ball 1. This is inside for ball 2. Rays Report once again presented by the Willow Gift Gallery. Two outs here in the bottom of the third. Cabrera takes the curveball for strike 1. Home run in the inning by Robbie Tenerowitz, solo home run. Of course, the old adage, solo home runs won't beat you. Princeton's got to find some base runners here and then hit it over the fence. Strike 2, outside corner fastball, taken once again by Cabrera, and it's 2-2 on Eliardo. Cabrera has the other home run in the game, solo shot in the top of the first. He gets hit by the 2-2 pitch, and he is aboard with 2 outs. Castro hits Cabrera, and we'll put a runner on here in the top of the second. Castro has been really efficient and really solid here for Greeneville, other than the 2 home runs he's given up, and ironically enough, both home runs have come on the first pitch swinging, first by Cabrera and then by Tenerowitz. This is swung through by Gustave as he chases a pitch in the dirt. 0-1 to Emilio. He went down on strikes. One of 2 strikeouts for Castro in the game here. Bottom of the third. Princeton trails it 4-2. Check on the runner, Cabrera. He's back with a dive. Tag slapped down by Spencer Johnson, but it was well late. I think Eliardo would be a threat to run him, but it could be wrong with 2 outs. He gets a secondary lead but doesn't go anywhere. 0-1 pitch is gloved by the catcher for a ball, and it's a ball and a strike. Gustave taking a look down at Danny Schaefer. Schaefer, they're not putting on any signs, just letting Gustave have his own game plan here. Cabrera steps off the back of the rubber and have a brief pause and play. 1-1 to Gustave. 4-2 Princeton trails at bottom of the third. Gorgeous Friday night for baseball. Understand the 4th of July weekend not going to be real kind. Rain in the forecast on Monday. Heavy rains. Don't want to see that. This is chased once again in the dirt by Emilio, and he is behind 1-2. Of course, the devastating floods in West Virginia a week ago yesterday. So anytime you hear heavy rain right after a flood, you cringe a little bit. Other than that, the 4th of July weekend looking really good. 1-2 pitch is called a ball, and Cabrera is going to be out on. No, he's safe. The second baseman dropped the ball. A ruse. Throw was in plenty of time. Second time tonight, the throw has beaten a runner to the base. First, it was Greeneville's Tyler Wolf stealing second after the ball beat him to the base, and now Cabrera gets to the base. Aruz went to go apply the tag, and he dropped the ball. So Cabrera is in with a stolen base, and he's in scoring position here for Gustave, who faces a 2-2 count, and he swings through it, and he is down swinging. Princeton gets the run on the solo home run by Robbie Tenerwitz. They leave one after 3 complete. Princeton trails it 4-2. This is Princeton Rays baseball on 103.3 The Way and online at 103.3theway.com.
And join us for a very special night at the ballpark. Monday night, July 11th. Princeton Rays versus the Bristol Pirates. 7 p.m. first pitch. Free admission. That's right, free admission for donation of a non-perishable food item. Items will be donated to Tender Mercies Ministries and Food Bank. The night is made possible and sponsored by Grant's Supermarket. That's free admission for a donation of a non-perishable food item. It's also nonprofit night. Join us as we celebrate and honor our nonprofit organizations and come see our local nonprofits and hear more about their missions. All Monday night, July the 11th, 7 p.m. first pitch, Bristol Pirates visit the Princeton Rays. Do you have a business or an event to promote? Advertising opportunities are still available for the Princeton Rays. Email us at princetonrays@frontier.com or phone us at 304-487-2000 to inquire about advertising today.
It's Raymond Ramos, who last pitched on Monday night, gave Danny Schaefer 5 innings of relief. Did take the loss against Danville, but he loosens in the Princeton bullpen down the right field line. It's 7-8-9 for Diesla. Powell is the leadoff hitter. Fouls this one back against the screen to start his second at bat. RBI ground out for Powell back in the second inning. First of 2 runs scored by Greeneville in the top of the second before they got 2 more in the top of the third. Ball 1 is low. Ball and a strike. So where Diesel really started running into trouble right before Powell in the second inning. This is back up the middle. Tenerwitz can't get there. And a leadoff single for Powell. The second time in 3 innings that Greeneville has had the leadoff man reach, and this time it is Powell. Brings to the plate Henderson. Raymond Henderson has an RBI single. So it was also his first career hit back in the second inning, and then was erased on a double play ball hit into by Marcus Almonte in the second inning, the second and third outs respectively of that frame. Diesel with the kick in the delivery, and it is back against the screen, fouled off 0-1 to the catcher, Raymond Henderson. Henderson looking to keep his momentum going here. Infield double play depth. Davis holding the runner on. Butera back off of third, not expecting a bunt. Diesla pauses and now brings it home, and it's in the dirt. Lorenzo comes up with a throw, and he will get the runner, Powell. Powell saw the ball skip just inches away from Lorenzo, took off for second, and could not get there. Rondon covers. Putout goes 2-6 on the caught stealing, and there's one gone. Count is 1-1 on Henderson after he took that pitch in the dirt. Good awareness from Ralph Aline to see Powell take off and keep that ball from trickling too far away from it and have a play on Powell at second. 1-1 pitch is grounded towards Butera, backs up on it, gets a clean hop. Blake across the infield with a laser beam, and Henderson is retired 5-3 for the second out in the bottom, check that, top of the fourth. Brings to the plate Marcus Almonte. As mentioned, Almonte 0 for 1. Ended that rally in the second after he hit into the double play. Put out went 4-6-3. Tenerowitz and Rondon been the primary second baseman and shortstop here for Princeton over the last half dozen games or so, and they seem to have developed good chemistry in that middle infield based on the number of double plays they've been able to turn. Going back to last night, Princeton hit into one, but they did not turn one themselves. 1-0, or the first pitch of the at-bat is in the dirt, 1-0. Check swing. He went, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike against the 9-hole hitter, Marcus Almonte. Almonte, a fine defensive play last half inning to rob Isaac Bernard of extra bases. 1-1 pitch, called strike, 1-2. Diesla looking for a clean inning here, something he hasn't done since the first. This is fouled off at home plate, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ramos continues to warm up in that Princeton bullpen, so I'd have to think that he's going to get the ball come the top of the fifth. Meanwhile, Diesel looking to get out of the inning here. 1-2 with 2 outs to Almonte, and he swings at it. Ball gets away from Lorenzo. He gets back on top of it, and the strikeout is completed 2-3. We'll go to the bottom of the fourth with Princeton trailing 4-2. This is Princeton Rays baseball on 103.3 The Way and online at 103.3theway.com.
Rays fans, join us for a very special night of baseball on Saturday night, July the 9th, as the Princeton Rays battle the Bristol Pirates. It's Military Appreciation Night. All active duty and retired military personnel will receive free gate admission to the Princeton Rays baseball game. Family members of the veterans and active duty personnel will receive a special gate rate of $4 at the gate. Join us for Military Appreciation Night, Saturday night, July the 9th, against the Bristol Pirates, Honeycutt Field in Princeton, 7 p.m. first pitch. See you at the ballpark.
Princeton trying to come back from a 4-2 hole. 2 solo home runs in the game. One by Eliardo Cabrera, the other one by Robbie Tenerowitz. That was in the third. Robbie hit his home run. It's 4-5-6 for the Rays here as we begin the bottom of the fourth. Ricardo Castro going for his 4th inning of work here. Swung through and missed by Melly. 0-1 to Bobby. Melly 0 for 1 in the game. This one is hit into right field. De La Cruz going back on it, and he'll catch the sharp line drive by Melly. No, he doesn't catch it. It gets over his head, and Melly is going to cruise into second base. That's going to be an error on De La Cruz. Maybe just a little bit too casual with the ball there was De La Cruz, and Melly is safe. Error for De La Cruz. And Melly is on to lead off the bottom of the fourth. Rafaelin Lorenzo, he hit a ball to right field in the second. De La Cruz did catch that one. That was the first out of the bottom half of the second. Castro kicks and delivers, and it's 0-1. Lorenzo fastball right down the pipe, taken for strike 1. Melly came into tonight. He's hitting all 8 games safely this season for the Rays. Doesn't have a hit tonight. We'll have to see what he can do here. And as the game goes on, this one is popped down the right field line, and it's going to drift foul towards the Rays bullpen. Now 0-2 on Rafaelin. It's Lorenzo and then Rondon. And hopefully we can get this far. It'll be Devin Davis for the Rays. Lorenzo already seen more pitches in this at bat than he did in his prior one. Swung at the 1-0 pitch from Castro back in the second. Flying out to De La Cruz. 0-2 this time, though, to Rafaelin. A hot shot towards a shortstop. Nice play by Sierra. Played it on a tough hop and gets Lorenzo by a step at first. He's retired for the second time. First out here in the bottom of the fourth, 6-3. Adrian Rondone, he grounded out. First pitch swinging to Sierra at short in the second inning. That was the second out. Princeton saw just 5 pitches in the second inning. Lorenzo hit a 1-0 pitch. Rondone was first pitch swinging, and Devin Davis swung at a 1-0 pitch to end the inning. Strike one, pumped in by Castro for an 0-1 count on Rondone. The look in by Castro. Now he sets, looks back and brings it home, and this is skied right field. De La Cruz a long run, and he makes the play as he hits the Princeton pitching mound. Melly's going to tag up, and Bobby is going to be safe. Tag a little bit late. Second out there recorded by De La Cruz. Had to run a long way. Like I said, ended up on the pitching mound of the Princeton bullpen when he finally caught the ball. Melly to third on the sac fly. Or actually not a sac fly, just a straight out, but advanced on the fly out, I should say. And it brings to the plate Devin Davis. Devin ended the second with a ground out to Sierra at short, 0 for 1 in the game. This is an outside fastball that catches the plate. 0-1 to Devin. Princeton, you thought maybe with the leadoff guy on the bottom of the fourth they'd be able to score, but they haven't. This is a chopper to third. It's going to steer foul, 0-2 against Davis. Davis still looking to really get going. Had the RBI triple. Scored 3 runs on Sunday, but that's his only hit. Now Devin's 5th game of the season, so played 5 of 9 for Danny Schaefer's ball club. 0-2. He faces it here against Ricardo Castro. He bounces this one down to third. Up with it is Wolf. He fires on to Johnson, and Davis is retired 5-3. No runs, no hits. 1 Greeneville Astro, and Princeton strands one here in the bottom of the fourth. Go to the top of the fifth. It's Greeneville 4, Princeton 2. This is Princeton Rays Baseball on 103.3 The Way and online at 103.3theway.com.
Sunday, July 10th, Princeton Rays versus the Bristol Pirates. Special 5 p.m. first pitch. Join us, fans, for Faith and Fellowship Night. Join us as we celebrate faith and fellowship. Special 5 p.m. first pitch. Gates open at 4 p.m. with a special gospel music concert featuring Calvary's Call. Calvary's Call in concert 4 p.m. free with gate admission. 5 p.m. first pitch. Sunday, July 10th, Princeton Rays versus the Bristol Pirates. We'll see you at the ballpark.
Telling a story with the redeemed of all the ages, praising the one whom I adore. When I wake up to sleep no more.
Rays fans, help us help those in our community in need. Help us help the victims of the recent West Virginia flood. On our games July 9th through the 11th, we'll be taking up donations of much-needed supplies so that we can donate to those victims of the recent West Virginia floods. Each item donated will be good for a ticket to be entered in a drawing for a box seat for the rest of the Princeton Rays season. Those items will be donated July 9th through the 11th through the Princeton Fire Department to those areas struggling with the recent floods. We are West Virginia Strong. Thank you for supporting our efforts to help those in need.
First 2 appearances, 7 1/3 innings, ERA of 1.23, 9 hits, 1 earned run, has walked a guy and struck out 9 in those 7 1/3 innings. Gave Danny Schaefer some great length on Monday night as he went 5 innings of relief. He was ultimately charged with the loss as Danville got the run in the top of the 11th to win 5-4, but had 6 strikeouts in that appearance over 5 innings, and one of the more impressive pitching performance I've seen recently as he starts off Sierra, the leadoff hitter, with a strike 0-1, but getting back to Ramos just for a second, one of the more impressive pitching performances I've seen in just a single inning. Struck out the side in that 10th inning against Danville, timeout called at home plate. struck out the side in that 10th inning and did it on just 10 pitches and really could have done it on 9. Swung through by Sierra way out in front of the changeup, and it's 0-2 against the shortstop for Greeneville. Sierra trying to avoid going down for a third time on strikes tonight. Struck out swinging in the first and in the third. Kick from Ramos, and he gets Sierra on that changeup, and for the third time, Sierra is gone on strikes. Brings up Tyler Wolf. He's done the exact opposite. Princeton still trying to get him out for the first time against the starter, Jose Diesla. 2 singles and a run scored. Scored a run off the RBI triple by De La Cruz and singled and was stranded at second back in the first inning. When we get a second here, give you the final line on Jose's outing tonight. Ball 1 in the dirt to Tyler Wolf. Ramos works off the first base side of the rubber. 1-0 pitch is swung on and missed. Wolf chased it out of the zone, 1-1. Jose tonight, 4 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned. Struck out 5 and walked 2 over his 4 innings of work. 1-1 from Ramos to Wolf. Grounded down to Butera deep at third. Long throw for Blake, and he's going to get Wolf. Shows off the gun over there. And Wolf is the second out of the 5th. And now Princeton with a chance to do something they haven't done in the first 4 innings tonight. Get Greeneville to go 1, 2, 3 in an inning. They did get 3 consecutive outs in the 4th inning, but that was after Powell hit a single to lead off the inning, then was cut down on the bases, attempting to steal second. Then a ground out by Henderson and a strikeout of Almonte ended the 4th, but Princeton trying to get a clean inning here. Check swing at home plate by Johnson. For our base umpire, John Bentkin, said he did not go, so it's 1-0 on Johnson. Appalachian League update brought to you by Chick-fil-A of Oakville Road. Check the 1-0 pitch here first, and it's swung through by Johnson, 1-1. Bristol with 2 runs in the game now. They lead Burlington at 2-0. Johnson City still hanging on to the 1-0 lead over Danville. Elizabethton was leading 6-0. Pulaski's gotten 2 runs in the 3rd. Elizabethton 6, Pulaski 2, and Bluefield is on the board against Kingsport with 3 of their own. It's Bluefield 3 and Kingsport nothing. 1-1 pitch delivered from Ramos was a strike called outside corner. Now 1-2, and Ramos 1 strike away from getting Greeneville 1, 2, 3 here. This is fouled back against the screen. Do it again. At a ball and 2 strikes. Bluefield looking for their 4th win of the year. Meanwhile, Elizabethton, they're trying to get back on the winning track after winning 4, then losing 4. They're 4-4. Johnson City, they've been good early on. They're playing at Danville tonight. This is a ball up high, 2-2. Bristol, they lead the West Division right now, actually tied with Johnson City at 5-3. Rubber match there between the Royals. Actually, no, check that. Bristol trying to not get swept tonight at home. Breaking pitch swung on and missed by Johnson. 1, 2, 3 go the Astros in the top of the 5th. Princeton comes to bat in the bottom half, trailing at 4-2. This is Princeton Rays Baseball on 103.3 The Way and online at 103.3theway.com.
Fans, join us for a very special night at the ballpark. Monday night, July 11th, Princeton Rays versus the Bristol Pirates. 7 p.m. first pitch. Free admission. That's right, free admission for donation of a non-perishable food item. Items will be donated to Tender Mercies Ministries and Food Bank. The night is made possible and sponsored by Grant's Supermarket. That's free admission for a donation of a non-perishable food item. It's also non-profit night. Join us as we celebrate and honor our non-profit organizations and come see our local nonprofits and hear more about their missions. All Monday night, July the 11th, 7 p.m. first pitch, Bristol Pirates visit the Princeton Rays.
Five scoreless for Castro against Johnson City last Saturday night. Gave up 4 hits, struck out 7. Not as many strikeouts in the game thus far, just 3 for Castro, but has only given up 2 hits. But more importantly, if you're on the Princeton side, the Rays have 2 runs off 2 solo homers by Cabrera and Tenerowitz. It's Isaac Bernard. Bernard robbed of an extra base hit back in the 3rd inning, shot a line drive into center field, and going back on it was Almonte, made a very fine over-the-shoulder catch. Bernard, strike one. First pitch swinging last time, by the way, for Isaac. That retired him. Bernard up and down thus far. Looking to put something together consistently. Made really solid contact the last couple of games. Last night had the single, went the other way with it with the third baseman. And last night Henderson playing well off the third base line, went the other way for a single, then struck out flat out and grounded out to third. This one is into the gap, and it's going to, I thought it was going to get down. Castro glides over, was already shading the gap that way, and Bernard is retired for the first out here in the 5th. Tenerowitz 1 for 1 in the game. 1 of 2 hits for the Rays. Solo homer. They got inside of the left field foul pole back in the 3rd inning with 1 out. Same situation here for Robbie as he comes to bat in the bottom of the 5th. See if Castro throws inside on him, because that's where Robbie hit the pitch for a home run, was that inside fastball. The first pitch is low for ball 1, a ball and no strikes. Kick and deliver from Castro. Tenerowitz tries to get down a bunt. Going to be a tough play for the third baseman. And Tenerowitz is going to be safe. Good effort from Wolf. Made a strong throw. First baseman Johnson dropped it, but Tenerowitz was already by the base. And for the 2nd straight game, Robbie reaches on a bunt single. Although last night when Robbie reached, he was just trying to sacrifice Bernard over. That was in the 3rd inning of last night's game. For Tenerowitz, he reached on the bunt, then later scored in that 3rd inning on the single by Melly, or the infield single by Melly, and now Tenerowitz reaches here in Friday night's game on a bunt single. Ball 1 in the dirt, backhanded by Henderson to Butera. Blake looking for his first hit tonight. He's 0 for 2, grounded out to Castro, the pitcher, in the 1st for the first out of the bottom of the 1st. And then struck out swinging in the 3rd inning. Takes ball 1 inside, now 2-0 against Butera. Princeton trying to get something brewing here in the bottom of the 5th. They trail it 4-2. Ricardo Castro has been stellar on the mound thus far for the Astros, giving up just the 2 hits, both solo home runs. Butera chops it wide of third, 2-1 against Blake. Cabrera looking to get an opportunity here. Series of signs put on by manager Danny Schaefer. Really the difference in the ball game tonight as we get the check on Tenerowitz at first. Really the difference in the game. Princeton 0 for 4. I think that's such a key stat in a game is runners in scoring position. What you do with runners in scoring position. Last night Princeton 7 for 18. 0 for 4 in tonight's game. Greeneville on the flip side at 2 for 6. Pretty good average, 333. Taken up high by Butera. He's ahead now, 3-1. Of course, the RBI, 2 RBI triple by De La Cruz, one of the hits, and then the also the RBI single by Henderson, the other hit for Greeneville in terms of hitting with runners in scoring position. 3-1 pitch to Butera, and he will take low. And Princeton has something cooking here in the bottom of the 5th, 2-1, and 1 out, and it brings to the plate Cabrera. He homered in the 1st, hit by a pitch in the 3rd, and stole 2nd in that frame. Visit from the Greeneville pitching coach, Bill Murphy. No, not Bill Murray, but Bill Murphy comes out to chat with his hurler here, Ricardo Castro. Some rustling going on down in the Greeneville bullpen. 2 or 3 guys standing down the mound. Can't tell who really wants to start making some kind of throwing action. Princeton tonight, 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position. It'll be the 5th time someone's come up with runners in scoring position. Gustave did it in the 3rd when he struck out with 2 outs. And then 3 times in the 4th, with Melly reaching on the air to lead off the 4th. Lorenzo went down 6-3. Rondon fouled out to right field, and Davis grounded out to 3rd after Melly led off the 4th when he reached on that error by De La Cruz, the right fielder. Cabrera comes up with 2 on and 1 out, and he chops one wide of first for 0-1. Away from second, Tenerowitz, bunt single with 1 out by Robbie, and then the walk by Butera on the 3-1 count has him at first. Butera not being held on. The shortstop, Sierra, playing directly behind the runner, Tenerowitz, at second. Castro the pause, and now the delivery, and it's inside. Almost got Eliardo again, but he gets out of the way. 1 ball and 1 strike to Princeton's right fielder. Cabrera can change the complexion of this game in a hurry here if he can run into one. Homer to right field, almost straight away right field for Cabrera when he hit that home run back in the first. Swings at the breaking pitch out in front. Ball and 2 strikes, was fooled there, was hunting fastball and got the curve from Cabrera, or from Castro rather. Now Cabrera behind 1-2. Gustave waits on deck. This is chopped at first. I think Johnson's only play is at first. It is. Cabrera retired 3 unassisted. The runners move up. Butera to second, and Tenerowitz down to 3rd. Emilio Gustave will come to bat now. Princeton still can't get that key hit they need to trim it to 4-3 or even tie it, but now with 2 runners in scoring position, Gustave can do that. Emilio's trying to right the wrong here. Struck out looking in the first, swinging in the 3rd, and this one's driven into the gap. De La Cruz going back on it, but he has a play, and Gustave is retired for the final out in the 5th. No runs, 1 hit. The Rays strand 2, 5 full. It's Greeneville 4, Princeton 2. This is Princeton Rays baseball on 103.3 The Way and online at 103.3theway.com.
Rays fans, join us for a very special night of baseball on Saturday night, July the 9th, as the Princeton Rays battle the Bristol Pirates. It's Military Appreciation Night. All active duty and retired military personnel will receive free gate admission to the Princeton Rays baseball game. Family members of the veterans and active duty personnel receive a special gate rate of $4 at the gate. Join us for Military Appreciation Night, Saturday night, July the 9th, against the Bristol Pirates, Honeycutt Field in Princeton, 7 p.m. first pitch. See you at the ballpark. Do you have a business or an event to promote? Advertising opportunities are still available for the Princeton Rays. Email us at princetonrays@frontier.com or phone us at 304-487-2000 to inquire about advertising today.
Franco came into tonight's game with 1 home run, 3 RBIs, just 4 hits this year. One of them a home run and the other one a double. 4 for 20, so now 4 for 22 on the season is Franco. Ramos will get him to swing at the first pitch to Davis. Devin will take it to the base himself, and Franco is retired. 1 pitch, 1 out in the top of the 6th. Brian De La Cruz will come up, man. He's been in the middle of everything tonight for Greeneville. Walked and scored a run in the 2nd, and then kind of the punch in the gut thus far against the Princeton Rays anyway. De La Cruz with the 2 RBI triple with 2 outs in the 3rd inning that scored Wolf and Johnson. This is a fastball outside corner. De La Cruz down 0-1 in the count. 4 up, 4 down thus far for Ramos. He's been exceptional this year out of the bullpen for Danny Schaefer. Also has a save we didn't mention. Had that save in the season opener Thursday. Went 2 1/3 at Burlington and earned the save in that 7-4 win. Ramos the kick, and this one's fouled back against the screen. 1-2. Something Ramos has been able to do that Diesel kind of struggled to do tonight was Diesel was able to get ahead. Ramos has been able to get ahead here early in his outing, but Diesel just could not get the final straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. Just the Greeneville hitters just kept fighting him and fighting him and fighting him, and they would reach somehow, whether it be a walk or a hit. But Ramos has been able to get that final punch against this Greeneville lineup. 2-2 pitch is called, strike 3, outside corner. De La Cruz not pleased. He's going to have to walk back to the dugout, though. After the punch out by Ramos, he has 3 strikeouts now, the first looking, and it's going to bring up Jonathan Aruz. Aruz in the game, 1 for 2, singled and scored a run in the second, and then flew out on a routine fly ball to Gustave in the 3rd inning. Coming up bottom of the 5th, get you a Rays report, check on the other affiliates. Mobile and Montgomery, the AA affiliate, of course, being in the Central Time Zone. Montgomery doesn't start until 8:05 most nights, so they're just getting underway. Check the other affiliates as well as they're along in their games. Ramos starts Aruz with a fastball inside corner, strike 1. Princeton down 4-2, top of the 6th rather. Greeneville getting 2 runs in the 2nd and then 2 more in the 3rd to jump out to a 4-1 lead. Robbie Tenerowitz narrowed that lead to 4-2 with a solo homer in the 3rd. The other Princeton run coming via the solo shot off the bat of Eliardo Cabrera in the 1st. This one fouled off the foot of Aruz. He's going to need a second there. At home plate, he's back in the box though and ready to go. 1-2 to Aruz. Ramos trying to go 1-2-3 for the 2nd consecutive inning here in his relief efforts tonight. Princeton bullpen quiet. A couple of guys getting up in that Greeneville bullpen. Have to see who they bring in here. I would think that Castro's night is done. Princeton's offense got 2. Castro a little bit in the bottom of the 5th, but could not get a run in. Had 2 on and 1 out, and then 2 outs recorded by Castro. This is lined into the gap in right center. Gustave over to cut it off, and he actually gets by him though as I say that. And Aruz is cruising around the bases, and he is going to stand up at 3rd. Got to think that's going to be a single and then a 2-base error. That ball is going to get down safely. Gustave, it's been an adventure for him in the field this year. He's shown off his arm a couple of times. Back-to-back outfield assist on Tuesday and Wednesday night. Had a mental lapse, though, in that game on Wednesday night. It is a single and an error for Aruz, as a 2-base error will be given after the single. Strike called to Chaz Powell. Powell, an RBI ground out in the 2nd, singled and was caught stealing in the 4th. Now Ramos has to deal with Aruz at 3rd here, but with 2 outs, you can't be as concerned. Lifts this one into left field. Going out on the outfield grass is Rondon. He will put it away. No runs, no hits. Greeneville leads 1 after the Princeton error. We played 5.5. It's Greeneville 4, Princeton 2. This is Princeton Rays baseball on 103.3 The Way and online at 103.3theway.com.
Sunday, July 10th, Princeton Rays versus the Bristol Pirates. Special 5 p.m. first pitch. Join us, fans, for Faith and Fellowship Night. Join us as we celebrate faith and fellowship. Special 5 p.m. first pitch. Gates open at 4 p.m. with a special gospel music concert featuring Calvary's Call. Calvary's Call in concert 4 p.m. free with gate admission. 5 p.m. first pitch Sunday, July 10th. Princeton Rays versus the Bristol Pirates. We'll see you at the ballpark.
Telling a story with the redeemed of all the ages, praising the one whom I adore. When I wake up to sleep no more.
In the 2nd, Charlotte and Bradenton, the Stone Crabs in command over the Marauders. It's Charlotte 6 and Bradenton 1. Bowling Green and Great Lakes kicking off a series tonight. They're scoreless in the 5th, and Tri-Cities has added another run in the game, and it's 2-0 Tri-Cities over Hudson Valley in the 4th inning. continuation of the Tampa and Detroit series. And when we went off the air last night, Tampa was in complete control of the game. It was up 5-0. Then the ninth inning happened, and the Rays gave up 8 runs in the ninth inning and lost to Detroit 8-5. Melly lifts this one the other way towards left field. Powell has a play on it, and he will put Melly away for the first out here in the bottom of the 6th. Continuation of that 4-game set down in St. Pete. And in the 5th inning, Detroit won and Tampa nothing. Drew Smiley on the mound tonight for the Rays. Detroit threatening in the top of the 5th with 2 on and 2 out. Inside to Lorenzo as Ralph Aline steps in. He's 0 for 2. Flied out in the 2nd and then grounded out in the 4th. Grounded out to the shortstop. Made a fine defensive play over there, did Sierra. That's on the inside corner for strike 1. Other Major League scores besides Tampa and the Tigers in Boston, the Angels and Red Sox opening up a 3-game set. This is swung through by Lorenzo 1-2. Red Sox 2, Angels nothing. They play the 5th. Marlins and Braves. Miami out in front of Atlanta at Turner. It's 3-2 Marlins in the 3rd. Scoreless in the 2nd between the Astros. This is shot foul right side by Lorenzo. 1-2 remains the count. Shot foul into those first base bleachers. Everyone seems to be A-okay though. 1-2 pitch. Lorenzo taps this one to short. Sierra up with it in the dirt, but picked out by Johnson. And Lorenzo is retired 6-3 for the second time in 3 at-bats tonight. Continuing to look at Major League scores. Scoreless in Houston, just underway, top of the 2nd. White Sox and Astros. Twins and Rangers beginning the 3-game set in Minneapolis. Scoreless after 1 there. Games in progress as well. A little later on, Phillies lead the Royals in interleague. It's Philadelphia 2, Kansas City 1, bottom of the 4th, and delay at Citi Field in Flushing. 1-1 against Rondon at the plate here in Princeton. In delay in the Mets-Cubs game. Mets lead 2-0 in the delay in the 2nd inning. And the Reds winning tonight 2-1 in Washington as they play the 6th inning there. Pirates on the coast tonight. They got Oakland to open up a 3-game set against the A's in interleague play. Also still to go tonight, Padres and Yankees in San Diego. Rockies and Dodgers in L.A. Ball grounded to short, and Rondon is retired 6-3. 1-2-3 go the Rays. In the 6th inning, we'll go to the top of the 7th. Fast-moving game here at Honeycutt Field. Greeneville 4, Princeton 2. This is Princeton Rays baseball on 103.3 The Way and online at 103.3theway.com.
Fans, join us for a very special night at the ballpark. Monday night, July 11th. Princeton Rays versus the Bristol Pirates. 7 p.m. first pitch. Free admission. That's right, free admission for donation of a non-perishable food item. Items will be donated to Tender Mercies Ministries and Food Bank. The night is made possible and sponsored by Grant's Supermarket. That's free admission for a donation of a non-perishable food item. It's also Nonprofit Night. Join us as we celebrate and honor our nonprofit organizations and come see our local nonprofits and hear more about their missions. All Monday night, July the 11th, 7 p.m. first pitch, Bristol Pirates visit the Princeton Rays. Rays fans, help us help those in our community in need. Help us help the victims of the recent West Virginia flood. On our games, July 9th through the 11th, we'll be taking up donations of much-needed supplies so that we can donate to those victims of the recent West Virginia floods. Each item donated will be good for a ticket to be entered in a drawing for a box seat for the rest of the Princeton Rays season. Those items will be donated July 9th through the 11th through the Princeton Fire Department to those areas struggling with the recent floods. We are West Virginia Strong. Thank you for supporting our efforts to help those in need.
Ramos, thus far, just one base runner to reach against him, a single by a ruse, and then he went to third on an error by Gustave. Got the Astros 1-2-3 in the 5th. Got the first 2 he faced in the 6th before the 2-out single by Ruse, and then induced a pop-up by Chaz Powell to end the 6th inning. And it's Henderson digging in. Raymond Henderson, first career hit here tonight, was an RBI single in the 2nd that scored a Ruse from 3rd, and then grounded out to Butera at 3rd in the 4th inning. Strike 1 call to Henderson, as Ramos has consistently been pumping in strikes tonight, and every Greeneville hitter he's faced tonight, he's gotten strike 1 against them. This will be the 8th hitter he's faced. Henderson this time chases in the dirt, and it's 0-2 quickly on the catcher, Raymond Henderson. Almonte after him, and then Miggy Sierra, the shortstop, in the hole for Greeneville. Princeton running out of time here as we play the top of the 7th. They trailed 4-2. Princeton with a couple of opportunities to tie the game, most notably in the 5th inning when they had 2 on and 1 out in the 5th. Could not convert there. Also got the leadoff man on in the 4th. That was Melly reaching on an error. He got the 2nd. They couldn't cash in there either. 0-2 to Henderson is a fastball outside, 1-2. The catcher once again, Raymond Henderson. Appalachian League update. Runs being put all over the board tonight. This is swung on and missed by Henderson, and Ramos has his 4th strikeout of the evening, and now 2 1/3 innings of work. Almonte comes up. He's grounded into a double play to end the 2nd, and struck out swinging against the starter Jose D. Slovak in the 4th inning. Appalachian League scoreboard brought to you by the Chick-fil-A on Oakville Road. It's still 2-1 in Bristol between the Pirates and Burlington. Almonte looks to bunt, takes ball 1 outside. Johnson City still hanging on to that 1-0 lead. The runs, though, being scored tonight in Elizabeth, and the Twins 8, Pulaski 3. That's in the top of the 5th. This is swung through by Almonte. He's evened it up at 1 ball and 1 strike with that miss. And Bluefield shutting out Kingsport down at Bowen Field. Rubber match of that series. Bluefield 7 and Kingsport nothing. I was looking at that box score. This is chased in the dirt by Almonte. Ramos now ahead 1-2. Looking at that box score from Bowen Field between the Jays and the Mets. Nash Knight with 3 RBIs. The Bluefield second baseman, 3 RBIs in that game to lead the Bluefield offense. That game's in the bottom of the 5th. Appalachian League scoreboard brought to you by Chick-fil-A on Oakville Road in Princeton. A little tapper back to Ramos. He's going to have to take it to the bag himself, and he will beat Almonte to the base. The ball was tapped off to the first base side of the mound, and Devin Davis was playing it like Ramos wasn't going to, and Tenerowitz had made a break toward the ball as well. Nobody was at home at first base, and Ramos caught the ball and then looked up and saw that nobody was over at first and had to win a foot race with Almonte, and did fairly comfortably, matter of fact, beating by a couple of steps. And there's 2 gone here in the top of the 7th, and we flip the order back over for Miguel Sierra. Sierra looking to avoid the Golden Sombrero here. Last night, our Golden Sombrero candidate was Connor McDonald. He struck out in his first 3 at-bats and then was hit by a pitch in his 4th appearance. So he avoided striking out 4 times in a game. Let's see if Sierra can do the same here for Greeneville. Ramos looking for his 5th punch out here in his now 2 2/3 innings of work. This is fouled. Catches the glove of Lorenzo, and it's 0-1 to Miggy Sierra. Sierra's seen his average drop below 200 tonight, now at 194 after this 0-for-3 effort at the plate. Ramos with the delivery, bounces in the dirt, 1 ball and 1 strike to Sierra. Sierra's has been very short-handed at shortstop tonight. Everything that's been hit to him has been without incident. This is outside 2-1 to Sierra. First time that Ramos has fallen behind a hitter tonight since he came into the game before the bottom of the 5th inning. Ramos taking a little bit longer here on this pitch. Now he's ready to fire, and this one's lifted into left field. Bernard with a long run, and that is gone. No, it's off the wall. Check that. It's off the wall. No, now they're saying home run. They're saying home run for Miguel Sierra, his third of the year. A solo shot to left center field, and Greeneville has extended their lead to 5-2 over Princeton. So Sierra, after striking out 3 times, he figures out in his 4th trip to the plate and launches a solo shot over the left center field fence to extend the Greeneville lead to 5-2. Second earned run against Ramos and his now 2+ outings, 3rd outing here tonight. This is singled. This is a ball back up the middle. Tenerowitz, shortstop side of second, has to make a strong throw. Bounces it to Davis and wide of first, and Wolf is going to reach on a single. It's his 3rd hit of the game tonight. Spencer Johnson will try to keep the inning going here. Back-to-back 2-out hits by Greeneville. The one big blow, though, was the solo homer by Sierra. Johnson 0 for 2, has struck out twice swinging. And between the strikeouts in the 1st and the 5th, had a walk sandwiched in between those strikeouts. Stoppage and play here. Jose Gonzalez out to talk to Raymond Ramos. 3rd time that Gonzalez has been out tonight. 1st time he's been out to visit Raymond. The first 2 times came whenever Diesla was on the mound. Princeton down 5-2 now after the solo homer by Sierra with 2 outs, and Wolf's away from first after he keeps the inning alive with the ground single back up the middle that Tenerowitz could not make the throw in time to first base to Devin Davis. Wolf's ran once tonight. He was successful in a steal in the 1st inning. The throw beat him down, but avoided the tag somehow or another and was called safe. This is ball 1, bounced in the dirt, blocked by Lorenzo. Wolf stays put 1-0 to the Greeneville first baseman, Spencer Johnson. Butera against the line. Rondon deep in the hole at short. This is lifted into right. Cabrera has a beat on it, drifts in a handful of steps, puts it away. Greeneville a run on 2 hits. They strand 1. It's time to stretch here at Honeycutt Field, the 7th inning stretch presented by the Willow Gift Gallery. This is Princeton Rays baseball on 103.3 The Way and online at 103.3theway.com.
Rays fans, join us for a very special night of baseball on Saturday night, July the 9th, as the Princeton Rays battle the Bristol Pirates. It's Military Appreciation Night. All active duty and retired military personnel will receive free gate admission to the Princeton Rays baseball game. Family members of the veterans and active duty personnel receive a special gate rate of $4 at the gate. Join us for Military Appreciation Night, Saturday night, July the 9th, against the Bristol Pirates, Honeycutt Field in Princeton, 7 p.m. first pitch. See you at the ballpark.
Where's number 27, 5'11", 195-pound, right-handed throwing native of David, Panama's 3rd appearance for him. Previous 2 appearances, 5 1/3 innings, 3 hits. He's not allowed an earned run, has not walked a guy, has 8 strikeouts. Last appearance came back on Monday night against Bristol. 3 2/3 innings. 2 hits and struck out 4, and each appearance, the other one was the opener on Thursday against Johnson City at home when he went 1 1/3, gave up a hit and struck out 4. So struck out all 4 of his outs came via, or 4 of his 5 outs, I should say, came via the strikeout. Saldano will start with Davis, followed by Bernard and Tenerowitz. Fouled off by Davis down the right field line, swings through the 0-1 pitch, and it's quickly 0-2 on Devin. He is grounded out once to short, and the other time to third in tonight's game. Been a tough going here for Devin. He swings through this one, and he's quickly down on strikes. Saldano flamethrowing right-hander. Kind of has that build where going to be more of a guy who's just going to try to blow you away. Just 5'11", 195, just gets behind the ball and just slings it up there. Previously played for the Gulf Coast affiliate of Houston last year, 25 2/3 innings, 16 strikeouts. This little tapper in front of home plate. Trouble filling it by Saldano. He recovers and gets Bernard at first for the second out. Put out goes 3-1. Saldano last year in the Gulf Coast League, 25 2/3 innings, 16 strikeouts. Opponents did hit 266 against him. Robbie Tenerowitz comes to the plate. Robbie, 2 for 2 in the game, home run, a solo shot in the third, and then bunt single, and was stranded at third in the fifth. And had a 1 out. The bunt single came with 1 out. Saldano in his minor league career, 4-5, 4.35 ERA, has appeared in 33 games with 6 starts. Fires strike 1 to Tenerowitz. 33 appearances, 6 games started, 80 2/3 innings, 68 strikeouts, and 35 walks for Saldano since the start of the 2014 minor league campaign. 1-1 now to Tenerowitz after Saldano misses. Tenerowitz trying to get on for the 3rd time tonight, trying to get a rally started here. Bottom of the 7th, Princeton trails it 5-2, and they got 2 quick outs on a Davis strikeout. This one fouled back against the screen, and now Robbie's in the hole. Davis struck out. Bernard tried to reach on the first pitch, swinging in the last batter, and he was retired 1-3. Saldano with the 1-2 pitch, and Tenerowitz takes outside, evens it up 2 balls and 2 strikes. Saldano before the 2015 season was in the Dominican Summer League with 2 different Houston affiliates. In 2014, 3rd year of professional baseball for Saldano, and Tenerowitz lays off, and it's now full against Robbie here as he tries to reach with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. If he would reach, Butera would come up. Blake's drawn a walk in the game. Tenerowitz and Butera reached with 1 out, and it's in the dirt, and Tenerowitz is aboard for a 3rd time tonight. First free pass he's drawn, and Butera will come to the plate. Blake 0 for 2 in the game. Grounded out in the 1st, struck out in the 3rd, then reached on that walk in the 5th inning. Went up to, removed to 2nd on a ground out by Cabrera, and that's where he was stranded in the 5th inning. Crowd starts to come alive here. 2 outs, bottom of the 7th, time running out on the Rays. They trail at 5-2 here against Greeneville in the rubber match. Butera takes high, ball 1. Good eye from Blake. We've seen several guys already this season chase that high fastball, but Blake does a good job of laying off. Blake, after a 3-hit game last night, still looking for his 1st hit here tonight. Takes strike 1 just above the belt. 1 ball and 1 strike on the Rays' 3rd baseman. Princeton trying to take the series here, but they got to do some work and do it in limited time now. 1-1 to Butera, swings through that one. Foul tipped into the glove, actually, of Henderson. And it's now a ball and 2 strikes to Butera, and he's going to have to fight here against the hard-throwing Abdiel Saldano for Greeneville. Saldano brings it home, and Butera fights this one off. Back up against the screen, remains a ball and 2 strikes. Trying to keep the rally going here. At least trying to keep the line moving. Try to get Tenerowitz in the scoring position and get Cabrera to the plate with 2 outs. And Butera cannot do it as he strikes out for the 2nd time tonight. No runs, no hits, 1 left for the Rays in the bottom of the 7th. It's Greeneville 5, Princeton 2. We played 7 full. This is Princeton Rays baseball on 103.3 The Way and online at 103.3theway.com.
Sunday, July 10th, Princeton Rays versus the Bristol Pirates. Special 5 p.m. first pitch. Join us, fans, for Faith and Fellowship Night. Join us as we celebrate faith and fellowship. Special 5 p.m. first pitch. Gates open at 4 p.m. with a special gospel music concert featuring Calvary's Call. Calvary's Call in concert 4 p.m. free with gate admission. 5 p.m. first pitch Sunday, July 10th. Princeton Rays versus the Bristol Pirates. We'll see you at the ballpark.
Telling a story with the redeemed of all the ages, praising the one whom I adore. When I wake up to sleep no more.
Do you have a business or an event to promote? Advertising opportunities are still available for the Princeton Rays. Email us at princetonrays@frontier.com or phone us at 304-487-2000 to inquire about advertising today.
To Bernard at the warning track, struck out in the third and then grounded out unassisted to first in the sixth inning as Davis took the ball to the bag himself. Ramos, this will be the fourth inning he's worked here tonight. Starter Diesel went 4 innings, gave up 4 runs. And in the previous 3 innings for Ramos, he's given up 3 hits and given up 1 run on 3 hits, struck out 4. But the big blow for him was that solo shot hit by Miggy Sierra. 2-0 quickly against Franco as he takes back-to-back fastballs high and outside. Meanwhile, Ricardo Castro, the starter for Greeneville, his final line here after the 2-0 pitch. And that is in the dirt, 3-0. Ricardo Castro, 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, a walk, 3 strikeouts, and 2 home runs, both solo shots to Narowitz and Cabrera. Called strike outside corner, maybe a little bit of a gift from the home plate umpire. Runs it 3 balls and a strike against the leadoff hitter here in the top of the 8th. Franco has tried to throw his bat away twice, and both times it's been a fastball called outside corner action. Meanwhile, down in the Princeton bullpen and getting loose is Dalton Moats for the Rays. Full count pitch, and this is a liner back up the middle, and it's into center field. Shading to that side was Rondon, but just out of his reach, and a leadoff single, the first hit of the night for Wander Franco. And more action on the base paths tonight for the Astros. That's their 10th hit. 5 runs now on 10 hits and an error for the Greeneville Astros. Meanwhile, Princeton offense has been quiet. 2 runs on 3 hits. They do have 2 errors in the game. Brings to the plate De La Cruz after the leadoff single by Franco. Fouled off to the right, and it's 0-1 on De La Cruz. He is 1 for 2 in a game. Walked to lead off the second, tripled in 2 runs in the third, and then struck out looking against Ramos back in the 6th inning. Raymond with the delivery, change up out in front, De La Cruz, and it's 0-2 on the right fielder for Greeneville. Leadoff single here by Franco. Thought that maybe Greeneville would play a little small ball, try to add to their lead and get De La Cruz to lay down a bump. That's clearly not the thought here. 0-2. And the kick and the delivery, and another off-speed pitch by De La Cruz, and another strikeout for Ramos. It's now his 5th, and this is now his 4th inning of relief. First out in the top of the 8th. Aruz comes up to bat. He's 2 for 3. 2 singles into that right center gap. Just waiting to see if maybe, looking at the right fielder Cabrera, see if he was shifting over any for the left-handed hitting Aruz, but look like he is, because both those singles have basically been in the same area of the outfield. This one is fouled off left side, 0-1. The only out Ruse has recorded tonight at the plate. Fly ball out to Cabrera to end the 3rd inning. Singles in the 2nd and in the 6th as well for Ruse. Ruse actually advanced to 3rd in the 6th after he singled into that right center gap, and then the ball was went under the glove of Gustave And Ruse raced all the way to third. This is in the dirt, blocked by Lorenzo. The runner, Franco, stays at first. Evens it up, a ball and a strike to Jonathan Ruse. But back to that error, it didn't end up costing Princeton anything. Both errors tonight really haven't cost the Rays a ton. Both runs that Greeneville scored in the second inning were going to be scored regardless of the error or not. 1-1 from Ramos to Aruz. Catches the outside corner, does the fastball, and it's a ball and 2 strikes against Aruz. Chaz Powell waits on deck. He has he had the first RBI of tonight's game for Greeneville. He has 1 hit in the game, is grounded out and popped out as well. But meanwhile, the focus is on Aruz. The pause and the delivery now from Ramos, and reaching out and just getting the piece is Jonathan Aruz. Fouls it back against the screen, stays alive at a ball and 2 strikes. Action down in that Princeton bullpen, the hard left-handed throwing Dalton Moats. Dalton, good outing, but roughed up a little bit 2 nights ago against Greeneville. Thought he pitched well, just didn't get help from his defense was the issue for Dalton. 1-2 pitch is chopped back behind home plate, stays a ball and 2 strikes. Looking back at Dalton's line there on Monday evening, an inning and a third, struck out 4 guys, so all 4 outs he got was via the strikeout. A couple errors hurt him, gave up just 1 hit, 2 runs, neither one of them was earned to Moats. This one fouled back against the screen, and Ruse staying alive, 1-2 with 1 out and 1 on. Top of the 8th, Princeton trails it by a score of 5-2. 6th game of a 6-game homestand to wrap up the first homestand of the season. Princeton on the road for the next 4. 4 different starting times for all those games, or I should say 3 different starting times for the first 3 games down in Johnson City. Popped up on the infield. Tenerowitz is under it, and he records the second out here, top of the 8th. Johnson City for the next 3 for the Rays. Johnson City 5-3 on the year, like these Princeton Rays.
Now batting for the Astros, the left fielder number
And
12,
for Princeton, it's a 7 o'clock start tomorrow night down just across the Virginia-Tennessee border. Then 6 o'clock on Sunday, and then wrapping up that series on Monday with a 2 o'clock first pitch on the 4th. And then Princeton will head to Bluefield for the start of the Mercer Cup on the 5th, and back home here for 6 in a row. Raymond Ramos is going to exit the game after the meeting between he and Danny Schaefer. New pitcher on for Princeton. We'll give you the particulars on Dalton Moats after this. This is Princeton Rays Baseball on 103.3 The Way and online at 103.3theway.com.
Do you have a business or an event to promote? Advertising opportunities are still available for the Princeton Rays. Email us at princetonrays@frontier.com or phone us at 304-487-2000 to inquire about advertising today.
Dalton Moats is the new pitcher. We talked about him just a moment ago. This P-Town Cell Repair called to the bullpen, Southern West Virginia's premier certified mobile device repair specialist, located on Rogers Street in Princeton. Call P-Town Cell Repair at 304-431-CELL. That's 304-431-2355. Baba O'Reilly by the Who blares over the loudspeaker as Moats finishes up his warm-up pitches. Moats, an inning and a third, a hit, 2 runs, neither earned, 4 strikeouts on. That came once again on Wednesday night here against these Astros. Moats, without holding to form where we thought he would. Moats, the left-handed thrower out of Kansas City, Missouri. This past year for Delta State, 115 Ks in 112 innings, and finished 6th among all Division II pitchers this past year in strikeouts. So Moats, 4 strikeouts in an inning and a third on Wednesday night, and looking for the final out here in the bottom of the 8th. He'll face the right-handed hitting Chaz Powell. 1 for 3 is Powell. Grounded out to second. That was an RBI, though. in the second inning. First run for Greeneville got on the board with his ground out. He singled back up the middle in the fourth and then popped out to Rondon in shallow left field to end the sixth inning. Strike one delivered to Powell. The next pitch, a breaking ball, and that's what I liked most about Dalton, I think, on Wednesday night, was he was able to mix his pitches up really well. Has that sharp breaking ball. I'm not sure. It looks more of a curve, but it might be some kind of slower slider from Dalton that he throws in there. 0-2 pitch, and it kicks away. And I checked that. It's going to be foul. I thought that it kicked away from Lorenzo in the dirt, but they say that Powell just got a piece of it somehow, and it'll remain 0-2 to Chaz Powell. Umpire emphatically barking out foul to inform the base runner, who is Franco. Led off the top of the eighth here with a single. Has been at first ever since. Strikeout by De La Cruz. Ground out, or a pop-up by a ruse to Tenerowitz. This one is a little bouncer that's going to stay foul off to the left of home plate. Stays 0-2 on Powell. Had the put out of a ruse written down wrong in my scorebook. I had 4-3, and then I quickly realized that that was definitely a pop-up to Tenerowitz near the first base bag in the infield. 0-2 to Powell. Moats looking for the final out here. It's a pitch that gets by the glove of Lorenzo. It'll be interesting to see how this is scored. We'll have to wait till the half inning. Didn't look like a terribly tough pitch for, say, wild pitch is the score. Franco advances to second. Now 1-2 on Powell. Very close. It wasn't any kind of breaking pitch, just a fastball that was low and outside in the dirt. Lorenzo couldn't get his glove to it in time. Goes down as a wild pitch, however. And it's 1-2 with now a runner in scoring position for Powell. Powell lifts this one into right field. Cabrera drifts in and over towards the gap ever so slightly. Powell is retired. Final out of the eighth. No runs, one hit, one left for Greeneville. Princeton needs some runs here as we play the bottom of the eighth. It's Greeneville 5, Princeton 2. This is Princeton Rays Baseball on 103.3 The Way and online at 1033theway.com.
Fans, join us for a very special night at the ballpark. Monday night, July 11th. Princeton Rays versus the Bristol Pirates. 7 p.m. first pitch. Free admission. That's right, free admission for donation of a non-perishable food item. Items will be donated to Tender Mercies Ministries and Food Bank. The night is made possible and sponsored by Grant's Supermarket. That's free admission for a donation of a non-perishable food item. It's also Nonprofit Night. Join us as we celebrate and honor our nonprofit organizations and come see our local nonprofits and hear more about their missions. All Monday night, July the 11th, 7 p.m. first pitch, Bristol Pirates visit the Princeton Rays.
Cabrera to lead it off here. I think Gustave, who's 0 for 3, and Melly is also 0 for 3. Melly, with that hitting streak on the line. Bobby hit all 8 games thus far this season. Cabrera did get a game off. That was 2 nights ago against Greeneville. He's hitting all 7 games, all 8 games he's played in now after the home run in the first. Swings and misses at a pitch in the dirt. 0-1 to begin the bottom of the 8th here against Princeton's right fielder's been sure-handed in the outfield tonight as well. He's caught just about everything that's come his way. This is fouled off left side, 0-2 quickly. In the hole is Cabrera. Saldano back out for Greeneville here in the bottom of the 8th. Worked a scoreless 7th, worked around a 2-out walk issued to Tenerowitz, but was clean other than that. Struck out 2. Saldano did in his first inning of relief in the 7th. That's high. Breaking pitch that never got down in the zone. It's 1-2. Fortunately for Saldano, left it far enough outside that Cabrera didn't try to jump all over it. 1-2 against Eliardo. This is a swing and a miss inside. And he has gone down on strikes. I don't know how to check that because Cabrera clearly went through the zone. Chased a fastball way inside, about eye level. Cabrera is gone on strikes. Gustave comes up. Emilio looking for his first hit. He's down on strikes twice tonight. First 2 plate appearances resulted in Ks for him, and then flew out to end the 5th with runners on 2nd and 3rd for the Rays. Fouled back against the screen. First pitch to Gustave, but flied out to De La Cruz out in right field to end the 5th inning. Runners on 2nd and 3rd. Princeton's only real scoring threat other than the home runs tonight. This is low and outside for ball 1. We talked here past couple of nights. The trivia question's always entertaining to me. A couple nights ago it was the Cesar Cedeno, how many home runs had he hit? Last night it was the how many years had Houston, the parent organization of Greeneville, how many years did it take them to win a playoff series after being founded in 1962? Of course, that answer was 42 years. 2-1 delivery is smoked into center field, but right at Almonte as he drifts back on it. And Gustave is the second out of the bottom of the 8th. Well, tonight's a trivia question had to do with the theme of the night, which was celebrating the best second-place teams in sports. Princeton, of course, last year losing the Appalachian League Championship to the same Greeneville Astros. And a trivia question tonight was, what city has the most second-place finishes in championship history? Bobby Melly digging in. It's come back right off the glove of Saldana. He recovers and flips it on to first. We'll have to continue this story in the top of the 9th. Princeton gone down 1-2-3 in the 8th. They trail at 5-2 as we head to the 9th. This is Princeton Rays baseball on 103.3 The Way and online at 103.3theway.com.
Rays fans, join us for a very special night of baseball on Saturday night, July the 9th, as the Princeton Rays battle the Bristol Pirates. It's Military Appreciation Night. All active duty and retired military personnel will receive free gate admission to the Princeton Rays baseball game. Family members of the veterans and active duty personnel receive a special gate rate of $4 at the gate. Join us for Military Appreciation Night, Saturday night, July the 9th, against the Bristol Pirates, Honeycutt Field in Princeton, 7 p.m. first pitch. See you at the ballpark. Rays fans, help us help those in our community in need. Help us help the victims of the recent West Virginia flood. On our games July 9th through the 11th, we'll be taking up donations of much needed supplies so that we can donate to those victims of the recent West Virginia floods. Each item donated will be good for a ticket to be entered in a drawing for a box seat for the rest of the Princeton Rays season. Those items will be donated July 9th through the 11th through the Princeton Fire Department to those areas struggling with the recent floods. We are West Virginia strong. Thank you for supporting our efforts to help those in need.
Due up here to start the 9th inning, Henderson will come up. Well documented tonight, his first career professional baseball hit. That was an RBI single in the 2nd. Grounded out to Butera in the 4th at 3rd, and then struck out swinging against Ramos. That was the 4th of 5 strikeouts for Raymond in his outing tonight. In the 7th inning, that strikeout occurred. Henderson digs in, looking to reach for his second hit of the night. The lefty Moats kicks, and it's a fastball outside off the glove of Henderson. 1-0 to Raymond Henderson. Catching tonight, played third base last night, was a busy bee down there at the hot corner. Lifts this one in the infield. It's going to go into foul territory. Lorenzo takes off his mask, and he tripped over. What happened was on that play, it was a pop-up straight up, threw his mask off, and then his helmet came off as he was backing back up towards the fair territory in the infield. And I think he tripped over his helmet, kind of lost his balance, never actually fell, but lost his balance, and when he lost his balance, lost track of the ball. So just will go down as a foul ball, 1-1 on Henderson, and he has some new life. Moats will kick, and this one is fouled sharply into the net. Thought that ball was going to drift towards the bleachers for a second. I flinched there. Kind of scary moment, but that ball safely into the net and back down 1-2 on Henderson. Ball into the net. Second set of infield box seats. A roller towards Rondon. He is up with it, and Henderson is the first out. 6-3 is the put out. And one gone top of the ninth. Almonte will come up. He's 0 for 3. Grounded into a double play in the second to end the inning. 4-6-3 that put out win. Struck out swinging in the fourth. Had to be completed on the base pass. 2-3. And then the old one unassisted. Don't see that very often. A comebacker or a tapper off to the right side of the mound that Ramos fielded. Davis was breaking towards the hole, and after Ramos gloved it, he had to run to the base himself and retire Almonte. And I think I already mentioned, won the foot race fairly comfortably. Swing and a miss. Pitch outside of the zone. Gets a chase, does Moats, and he's ahead now 0-2. Moats working quickly here, and this one's lifted into shallow right field. Tenerowitz is out, and he has a play made that look really pedestrian. Did Robbie. I thought that ball was going to be trouble because Cabrera was nowhere near it. Davis was racing out, and Tenerowitz just glided out there and made the catch about 15 or so feet onto the outfield grass. Had to run a fairly decent amount, but covered the ground quickly. And Almonte is gone for the second out, top of the ninth. Sierra will dig in. Sierra struck out 3 times to begin his evening, and then the solo home run that just barely got over the fence in left center field in the 7th inning. So 1 for 4. Sierra digs in for the 5th time tonight. Breaking ball that is low, called ball 1. Bluefield, as we look at the Appalachian League scoreboard, Bluefield laughing at Kingsport tonight, just absolutely laughing at him. 1-0 pitch is on the corner for a strike outside. Bluefield 15, Kingsport 1. They're in the 6th inning at Bowenfield, top of the 9th. Actually, I'm sorry, that's a hard score I was looking at. 1-1 pitch from Moats is taken low, ball 2, another breaking pitch. Burlington has come back and overtaken Bristol. Royals, they're trying to sweep that series down in Bristol. 6-3 Burlington in the 7th. That one run still holding up for Johnson City at Danville, top of the 8th, 1-0. Foul back against the screen by Sierra. And final check of the Appalachian League scoreboard tonight, Elizabethton still hanging on to that 8-3 lead as they play the bottom of the 7th at Elizabethton. But man, Bluefield 15, Kingsport 1, just that's remarkable. That's in the dirt. Now it's full against Sierra. Moats trying to get a 1-2-3 here. Needs to find one here. Bluefield with an 8 spot in the 5th inning. Which is absolutely incredible. They're up 15-1. Full count pitch from Moats and just outside. And it's a base on balls for Sierra. He reaches for the 2nd time tonight. First time that he has reached on a walk. And now it stays 1 for 4 in the game. Tyler Wolf comes up to bat. He is 3 for 4 in the game. 2 singles into right field. Neither one of them hit terribly hard, and then single back up the middle in the 7th inning with 2 outs after Sierra homered. Sierra now on first after the 2-out walk. See if Wolf can keep it going here. Strike 1 right down the middle, and it's 0-1. For Bluefield tonight, every single player has an RBI except for 2, and every single player has a hit except for 1 for the Blue Jays. They're trying to get to 4 and 5. They're going to do that. Pop up on the 0-1. Into the outfield goes Rondon. Comes back onto the cut of the grass. And the Astros are gone in the 9th. No runs, no hits. They do leave the 1 runner. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. Princeton needs 3 to keep playing here. This is Princeton Rays Baseball on 103.3 The Way and online at 103.3theway.com.
Sunday, July 10th, Princeton Rays versus the Bristol Pirates. Special 5 p.m. first pitch. Join us, fans, for Faith and Fellowship Night. Join us as we celebrate Faith and Fellowship. Special 5 p.m. first pitch. Gates open at 4 p.m. with a special gospel music concert featuring Calvary's Call. Calvary's Call in concert 4 p.m. free with gate admission, 5 p.m. first pitch, Sunday, July 10th. Princeton Rays versus the Bristol Pirates. We'll see you at the ballpark.
Telling a story with the redeemed of all the ages, praising the one whom I adore. When I wake up to sleep no more.
Here, we play the bottom of the ninth. Saldana back out for his third inning of relief for Greeneville. If he would get 3 outs successfully before Princeton got to 3 runs, Saldana would get the save. Be his first save of the season, just his 3rd appearance for Saldana. Be his first save. He pitched 3 innings, regardless of what the score is, you automatically are in line for the save, even though he also came in with a save situation in line. Swing and a miss by Lorenzo to start the bottom of the 9th. Lorenzo grounded out to short in his last 2 at-bats, flied out rather to right in his first at-bat. Looks at strike 2, outside corner fastball. And Lorenzo quickly in the hole, 0-2 to Saldana. Saldana, a perfect 8th, allowed a base runner in the 7th on a walk to Tenerowitz. Other than that, it's been squeaky clean. A liner right at the right fielder, De La Cruz, and Lorenzo is gone for the first out in the bottom of the 9th. Tell you what, there's been some balls hit hard right at De La Cruz tonight. They've been right at him. Go back to Gustave's fly out in the 5th inning. That ball that was contacted by Lorenzo, that was hard hit. Trying to look down through the scorecard here, see if I can remember any other balls that were hard hit. Ball 1 taken by Rondon. Oh, Lorenzo actually, also in that first bat, hit a scorcher right at De La Cruz as well that he caught. Swing and a miss, chased 1 low, did Rondon, evens it up at a ball and 1 strike. Princeton on the road after tonight. 7 o'clock first pitch in Johnson City. Cardinals look like they're going to move to 6-3 on the year. They got to get 6 outs now. They are in the bottom of the 8th at Danville. They lead 1-0. 2-1 to Rondon. Pitch bounces in the dirt. 7 o'clock first pitch tomorrow night in Johnson City. 2-1 from Saldana, and this is foul back against the railing below the netting along that pathway there underneath the stands, and it's 2-2 on Rondon. 7 o'clock first pitch in Johnson City, and then a 6 o'clock first pitch Sunday night, 2 o'clock on the 4th of July. Rondon down on strikes for the first time tonight for Saldana, his 4th, and Devin Davis represents the last hope for the Rays tonight. And Davis on Wednesday night was the final out of the ball game here for the Rays whenever they played Greeneville in the first game of the series. So Davis trying to keep it alive here. Ball 1 scooped up out of the dirt by the catcher Henderson, 1-0 to Davis. Saldana trying to work 3 innings of scoreless relief here. Inside to check that. I was going to say inside ball 1, or ball 2 rather, but dropped by the catcher Henderson, but is called a strike. Inside corner, Davis now sees a count go 1 ball and 1 strike. Princeton back home on Wednesday night to open up a 6-game homestand. 3 on the road at Johnson City, 1 in Bluefield. That's Tuesday night, 7:05 first pitch there, and then a 3-game set against Pulaski next Thursday, and then Bristol in for 3 after that. All those are 7 o'clock first pitches, except for the game on the 10th against Bristol is a 5 o'clock start. 3-1, or check that now, 2-1 on Davis. Saldana pauses. And now the delivery, and this is fouled off the mask of Henderson, who runs it 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs here. Princeton down to their last hope tonight. Greeneville by a score of 5-2. Astros 2 runs in the 2nd, 2 runs in the 3rd. A solo homer in the 7th. Princeton with a run in the 3rd. Solo homer off the bat of Cabrera. Solo homer in the third off the bat of Tenerowitz. Davis staying alive. Fouls it back against the screen. Do it again. 2-2. Really good crowds here for this homestand outside of Monday night. Of course, the weather really crappy on Monday night. Had some rain move through. Slight delay on Monday night. But other than that, good lively crowds. Like to see that. To start the season, invite everyone back out for the next homestand. Chop foul, third base side. Stays 2-2. Davis staying alive here, trying to get Isaac Bernard to the plate here in the bottom of the ninth. Rays with a win. Go to 4-2 on this homestand. Loss would take them to 3-3, and they're down to their last strike of the game. So looking like 3-3 is what it's going to be unless a big rally. Davis lifts this one. This is foul again. Third straight foul from Devin. And it remains 2-2 on the Rays' first baseman. Davis 0 for 3 in the game, looking for his first hit. Struck out in his last at bat, grounded out twice before that. Once to short, 1-2 third. Saldano, one strike away here, just can't get pesky Davis. This one is into center field. Racing back on it is Almonte. He is under it, and on the warning track makes the catch. Princeton's going to fall tonight by a score of 5-2. They dropped the series 2-1 against Greeneville. Princeton going to try to get things off on a positive note tomorrow night when they go to Johnson City. We'll come back, though, and talk about this game tonight. Get you a race report and an Appalachian League update as well. This is Princeton Rays Baseball on 103.3 The Way and online at 103.3theway.com.
Fans, join us for a very special night at the ballpark. Monday night, July 11th. Princeton Rays versus the Bristol Pirates. 7 p.m. first pitch. Free admission. That's right, free admission for donation of a non-perishable food item. Items will be donated to Tender Mercies Ministries and Food Bank. The night is made possible and sponsored by Grant's Supermarket. That's free admission for a donation of a non-perishable food item. It's also nonprofit night. Join us as we celebrate and honor our nonprofit organizations and come see our local nonprofits and hear more about their missions. All Monday night, July the 11th, 7 p.m. first pitch, Bristol Pirates visit the Princeton Rays. Do you have a business or an event to promote? Advertising opportunities are still available for the Princeton Rays. Email us at princetonrays@frontier.com or phone us at 304-487-2000 to inquire about advertising today.
Welcome in, fans, to the Princeton Rays post-game show. The Rays drop a tough one tonight, 5-2 to the Greeneville Astros. They also drop this series to the Astros. And Eric Lester alongside with Wes McKinney. And Wes, tonight you can really sum it up to the great, fantastic pitching and the starting pitcher for Greeneville tonight.
Carter Castro, Eric, only made 2 mistakes all night. He gave up 2 solo homers, 1 in the first, 1 in the third. That's only 2 mistakes he made all night. Struck out 7 over 6 innings. Has given up just 2 runs now in 12 innings and struck out 14 over those 2 starts. So he is for real for Greeneville. And then, of course, you had Abdiel Saldano coming in late into that game. Retired 9 of 10 batters he faced. Princeton's offense gets shut down tonight, only 3 hits for them, but you're going to have that, and Princeton just got to bounce back.
Princeton on the offensive side, you mentioned not a lot to talk about, 3 hits, but 2 of those hits, big home runs, Eldiardo Cabrera and also Robbie Tenerowitz.
Robbie's come along here the past 3 or 4 games at home, Eric. He had a multi-hit game in Game 2 against Greeneville, had a multi-hit game tonight. So even though he's hitting in the 9-hole, he's really wreaking havoc for manager Danny Schaefer's lineup. So I'm going to see how Robbie continues to progress, hitting that low in the order, because that can be a tough place to try to hit out of. And Cabrera, he's shown that he's got some pop in his bat, his second home run of the season here in tonight's game. But other than that, Princeton just got shut down against the pitcher Castro and then Saldano later in the game. And Eric, to put it in perspective, Princeton with 2-1 and 1 out, down 4-2 in that 5th inning. And after that, Princeton, they are retired 13 of the next 15 batters in the game. Greeneville Astros able to retire 13 of the next 15 they face. Just kind of goes to show you how good Greeneville was on the mound tonight after struggling there a little bit the first 2 games of this series.
Very tough outing for our starting pitcher tonight. Jose Diesla had a real tough start with it, but some bright spots in the mound coming in for relief for the Rays tonight.
Yeah, I thought Jose did a pretty good job. The defense didn't do him a ton of favors tonight, but he did strike out 5. So if you're going to take something away positive from Jose's start, you got to take that away. He's able to get some swings and misses on his breaking stuff. But yeah, you're right, Eric. Raymond Ramos came in. He was phenomenal in 3 2/3 inning. He really made one mistake all night, and that was a solo home run he gave up. And then Dalton Moats, I think this guy has a chance to be a key contributor out of Danny Schaefer's bullpen. An inning and a third tonight. He went an inning and a third in game 1 in this series. He has 2 runs charged to him, but neither one of them are earned because they came on a couple of errors by Princeton. So in 2 2/3 innings now, Dalton has struck out 4, and he has some really solid numbers from Delta State where he pitched coming in to professional baseball here in Princeton. So I think Dalton can become a key contributor out of that Princeton bullpen. And then back to Raymond Ramos just for a second. I think Raymond's a guy that he can do a lot of different things for you in that bullpen, and I think maybe down the road we see him as a starter because 5 innings his last outing against Danville and now 3 2/3 tonight. Gave great length out of the bullpen his last 2 outings. So I'm interested to see if Ramos evolves into a starter here down the road.
Once again, fans, the Rays drop a tough one, 5-2 here to the Astros. When we come back on the Princeton Rays post-game show, we'll talk about the next time we'll be on the air when the Bristol Pirates will be in town. Don't go anywhere.
Rays fans, join us for a very special night of baseball on Saturday night, July the 9th, as the Princeton Rays battle the Bristol Pirates. It's Military Appreciation Night. All active duty and retired military personnel will receive free gate admission to the Princeton Rays baseball game. Family members of the veterans and active duty personnel will receive a special gate rate of $4 at the gate. Join us for Military Appreciation Night, Saturday night, July the 9th, against the Bristol Pirates, Honeycutt Field in Princeton, 7 p.m. first pitch. See you at the ballpark. Rays fans, help us help those in our community in need. Help us help the victims of the recent West Virginia flood. On our games, July 9th through the 11th, we'll be taking up donations of much-needed supplies so that we can donate to those victims of the recent West Virginia floods. Each item donated will be good for a ticket to be entered in a drawing for a box seat for the rest of the Princeton Rays season. Those items will be donated July 9th through the 11th through the Princeton Fire Department to those areas struggling with the recent floods. We are West Virginia Strong. Thank you for supporting our efforts to help those in need. Sunday, July 10th, Princeton Rays versus the Bristol Pirates. Special 5 p.m. first pitch. Join us, fans, for Faith and Fellowship Night. Join us as we celebrate faith and fellowship. Special 5 p.m. first pitch. Gates open at 4 p.m. with a special gospel music concert featuring Calvary's Call. Calvary's Call in concert 4 p.m. free with gate admission. 5 p.m. first pitch Sunday, July 10th. Princeton Rays versus the Bristol Pirates. We'll see you at the ballpark.
Telling a story with the redeemed of all the ages, praising the one whom I adore. When I wake up to sleep no more.
Do you have a business or an event to promote? Advertising opportunities are still available for the Princeton Rays. Email us at princetonrays@frontier.com or phone us at 304-487-2000 to inquire about advertising today. Fans, join us for a very special night at the ballpark. Monday night, July 11th, Princeton Rays versus the Bristol Pirates. 7 p.m. first pitch. Free admission. That's right, free admission for donation of a non-perishable food item. Items will be donated to Tender Mercies Ministries and Food Bank. The night is made possible and sponsored by Grant's Supermarket. That's free admission for a donation of a non-perishable food item. It's also Nonprofit Night. Join us as we celebrate and honor our nonprofit organizations and come see our local nonprofits and hear more about their missions. All Monday night, July the 11th, 7 p.m. first pitch, Bristol Pirates visit the Princeton Rays.
Back on the Princeton Rays post-game show. And when next we hit the air, it'll be the Bristol Pirates in Honeycutt Field for a series with the Princeton Rays. And Wes, the Pirates have had a long bit of a losing streak in the Appy League, but this season's fortunes for the Pirates seem to be changing.
Yeah, 2 years ago, I should say, they were bad. That's all you can say. They were bad. Last year, better year for the Pirates. This year, early on in the Appy League, obviously early, but contending among the top of the division in the West. So the Pirates have kind of turned that whole city, that whole field of baseball in Bristol around after the struggle they had 2 years ago. So it'll be interesting to see how the Pirates fare when they come to Honeycutt here for Game 3 of that series.
Yeah, come out and see us, fans, for the Pirates series. It's the 9th, 10th, and 11th of July, so that's tonight and the next 2 nights. Military Appreciation Night is tonight, 7 o'clock first pitch. That's for military personnel, both retired and active duty, free admission at the gate. And then on Sunday, special 5 o'clock first pitch, and it's Faith Day as we celebrate faith and fellowship here at the ballpark. 5 o'clock is first pitch. Come early, fans. Gates open at 4. Special gospel music concert inside the gates at 4 o'clock here at Honeycutt Field. Then on Monday the 11th, have a special promotion that night with a donation of non-perishable food items to Tender Mercies Ministries. Grant Supermarket is sponsoring the night, so you'll get free admission with that donation to the charity. For Wes McKinney, I'm Eric Lester. We'll see you next time right here on the Princeton Rays Game of the Week.